believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time. I'm a person who will spike the conversation, who will get politics rolling and stimulate new questions and new answers to our current political dilemma facing our nation. I believe I have a keen understanding of the economy and how to improve where we're at relative to other nations around the world. I believe that our goal at America's Third Party was to create a very strong platform in which would propel the American people forward with new opportunities and a new possibility of creating a better nation, a cleaner environment, and less war. Best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party. I'm David Sponheim, and this is Truth Tuesday. Hello. We are, as you know, doing the show every day at 5 o'clock, and we record at 6. So if you want to come into the pre-show and talk to me personally, you can. I'm fully available. And this show, as you know, is breaking ground across the globe with cutting-edge information sharing like no other out there. We do real-time link contributions from people, and they give us all kinds of links, plus we track the news, we do commentary, at least I do, and you guys can come in with your views and question my views if you want. But don't attack me personally, because if you're trying to attack me to try to get me to drop out of the race because you're threatened by my strength, my confidence, my belief and will that this can happen, then you're not the right fit for our show. Yeah, you're reacting to me personally where you should be talking about the issues. Today we had a terrible situation pop up in New York. As you know, the measles outbreak is getting worse there. So New York City is implementing mandatory vaccinations amid worries and what they claim is the worst measles outbreak since 1991. The problem with mandatory vaccinations is how are you going to verify? How are you going to verify that anyone's vaccinated? And plus, people need to realize that measles vaccines can cause measles. So how do we know that the measles outbreak isn't being caused by the measles vaccine? It's happened many, many times before. That's a huge issue that's not being sorted out. Now, our preeminent expert on vaccines is, at this present time, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is scoured over countless papers and was put in charge of this program by Trump, but Trump isn't even promoting him. Trump's acting like Robert Kennedy Jr. is kind of a nobody. It's like he stuck them there. Recently, the House did an investigation into vaccination safety. They didn't even invite Robert F. Kennedy Jr. They didn't even want him to talk. And he found out recently that most vaccines that we get are not tested. They haven't been tested for 30 years. Even though there's a mandatory requirement for testing, they haven't done anything. Now, the Hong Kong estimate has gone up to 56. A Hong Kong airport worker has been confirmed as having measles. 56 people have had measles. Now, I hope you realize that measles doesn't kill people unless you die of the secondary infections from bad medicine. Very few people in America have ever died of measles. Very few. Yet, New York City is overreacting and forced inoculating. Now, what's wrong with forced inoculation? What's wrong with herd inoculation? You might ask. There's no evidence that vaccines are effective. In fact, Mercola did a study that shows that vaccines are ineffective in almost every case except the pneumonia vaccine. They develop vaccines for specific things. Now, if you believe that the measles vaccine is effective, can you explain why outbreaks of measles are occurring across the country from vaccinations? South Carolina, a mumps vaccination was delivered and everybody got mumps. Well, you can't cash in on anything because I'm not here for money. Yeah. Why do you want ISIS to attack you? Are you depressed? 877? There is no confirmation bias at all. In fact, we've got more than enough evidence to validate what I'm saying. Forced inoculation is what they're going to be doing. Herd inoculation in New York City. Now, Maxed Out Credit has had more probably injections than most anybody in the past couple of years. He had a massive stroke in which he died for 18 minutes. Now you don't even care. It's not like an issue because you're just lucky to be alive. And many of you feel the same way probably. You're just lucky. You stick me with whatever. I'm just lucky to be alive. Bill Clinton took hands with immigrants that were not tested, much to the dismay of the Secret Service. Right, yeah. I would never shake hands with anybody because you don't know what's on their hand.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
You're on. So you're not too worried about people sticking you with needles.
I found out one of my friends
Go ahead.
has got 4 years left to live on
Lewy body syndrome?
disease.
Yeah, the same thing that affected Robin Williams.
He's going to become a vegetable.
4 years, and he'll be depressed along the way with Lewy body syndrome, the same thing that affected Robin Williams that led to his death, allegedly. All right.
I worked so hard to get better, and he can't do anything about it.
Right. We have a lot of loss. Your friend is not going to find a cure unless they find a cure within the next 4 years, and he will be dealing with mental breakdown, chronic brain syndrome, they call it, or they used to call it. Yeah, minds tend to break down over time.
Dementia.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and bring up a couple of news items.
How are you doing, Dave, tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. We've got a story here, Obama era stuff. Trump is now blaming Obama on breaking up families, which Trump himself is responsible for. He's the one who broke up all these families recently. Trump caused 4,500 kids to go missing. Let's take a look at that CNN story.
Terrible.
Okay, I'm going to unmute it.
Relates to me and not everybody at Treasury.
Separation policy for undocumented immigrants entering the U.S.
We're not looking to do that now.
You're not looking to bring
But
it
it
back?
does it brings a lot more people. to the
Look, it's a
border.
tradition
Then
that started with Richard Nixon, which is why people have been asking Donald Trump about his tax returns since he started even thinking about running for president.
I'll produce my tax returns, absolutely, and I would love to do that.
I will absolutely give my return, but I'm being audited now.
I can't release tax returns when there's an audit.
In fact, we counted at least 16 times that Donald Trump said he wanted to release his taxes. And an audit isn't the only reason he's pumped the brakes. He also found a way to weaponize his returns.
Maybe I'm going to do the tax returns when Obama does his birth certificate.
And, of course, hit Hillary Clinton.
I will release my tax returns against my lawyer's wishes when she releases her 33,000.
Thank you. Yeah, so Trump doesn't want to release his tax returns. He's hired lawyers to stop moving on any kind of action the Democrats are requiring. So here's a guy who said he would gladly show us his 10 years of tax returns, and he refuses to show any of his tax returns. So I say the tax returns are the smoking gun, which leads us to conclude beyond any reasonable doubt in my mind that he's trying to cover up something, which then raises the question of total collusion. Yeah, there's something in his taxes that would probably show the Russian oligarchs paying double what they should have paid for houses. That's what I think is going on. That's why he doesn't want to show anyone anything. So, yeah, there's more than enough to convince me that Donald Trump is hiding something there. You've got dessert blintzes you want to talk about? Okay. Here I was talking about total collusion, and you'd rather talk about dessert blintzes. Right, yeah. Let's just forget about Russia controlling our president. Let's talk about dessert blintzes. I didn't want to plan on turning off ad blocker. You know, wouldn't it be nice just to look at something? There, that's a very nice blintz, yeah. Of course, it's very fattening, too. Now, here's the story I was trying to get to.
The recent firings of Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen and the head of the Secret Service.
Jeff, to be cleaning house at DHS, what would you like to achieve with the new leadership?
Well, I never said I'm cleaning house. I don't know who came up with that.
But Trump is moving to make it more difficult for migrants to claim asylum based on a credible fear of returning to their home country, a senior administration official said today. That official also saying the White House considered offering undocumented immigrants a so-called binary option, staying in detention indefinitely with their children or risk being separated from them at the border. The shakeup at DHS and the reboot of Trump's so-called zero-tolerance policy have some on Capitol Hill taking notice.
They're changing the crew on the Titanic, but they're headed for a shipwreck.
Republican Senator Chuck Grassley telling the Washington Post in an interview that Trump is pulling the rug out from the very people that are trying to help him accomplish his goal on border security. All this as Trump officials face scrutiny on Capitol Hill over the president's policies, revealing that thousands of children being held in facilities at the border risk being traumatized.
We do not have the capacity to receive that number of children, nor do we have the capacity to serve them, nor is it possible to build a system that would prevent the mass traumatization of children.
And Trump...
It's impossible to build a system that would prevent the mass traumatization of children. I don't know about you, but you could give people vouchers and they could stay in motels with an armed guard at the front entrance. I mean, it's not that hard to warehouse a family. My goodness. You see what these scumbag pigs are doing? They're trying to profit from every little person that has to get stuck in some jail cell when they're separated from their mommy and daddy. Mi mama, mi papa, no aquí. Oh, ¿dónde es mama y papa? Oh. Kids are really suffering. I'm trying to emote and make myself feel like it would be feeling if I were a kid worrying about my mommy and daddy. Get a life. People don't need they don't need vaccines. Yeah, you're right. Vaccines actually spread measles. It's true. Have a beer and get some suntan. A suntan and a beer will probably get you through the day. I don't like black hair. I'm sorry. I don't dye my hair. I don't like. I've always had beautiful blonde hair. If you don't like that, you can stick it up your ass. Any other questions? I mean, talking about my hair, dude. We've got a show to do. Yeah, whatever. Stick whatever. Just get with the program. Our country's falling apart and you're talking about my hair. Yeah. Same with you, Beer Bash Brett. I don't want to have darkened hair. It's not a wig. This is my real hair. What the hell, man? I've got real hair and people, they call me wearing a wig. This show does just digress to something really dark and ugly. And I really want to kind of focus on things that bring me joy. Okay? Thanks. Vaccines have never been proven to be effective. Wig Wednesday is tomorrow. You would comb my hair? Why? My hair looks combed. See what I mean? Everyone wants to talk about my hair. It's like brain dead America. Yeah, well, what would bring me joy right now is to talk about somebody has no hair. Bernie Sanders. Well, it's not that it's longer, it's just that it's going in a different direction. You see, my hair is spinning. It's going this way and that way. I developed this hair design. It's pretty cool. It spins on my head. So if I'm in a whirlwind, my hair would be going around in a circle. Helmet hair, there you go. Yeah, see? But at least I have hair. Bernie doesn't have any. Here's the newest innovation for men who just don't want to go without being bald. And they want to drive their motorcycles so they'll feel like they have a penis. There you go. Helmet hair, a brand new innovation. It enlarges your head. Bernie would look better without being in the race. Bernie would look better. Now he has to answer to why he's a millionaire, and everyone's saying, "Wait a second, I thought you didn't want to be, in the 1%." Bernie makes $2.3 million a year on his book deals because all these brain dead Democrats go, "Oh, Bernie, you're so smart. I just want you because you want to tax me and force me to pay more for my beef. And gosh, I want to be a vegan anyway." Yeah, he has a lot of supporters who believe in him. Johnny, you and Gunter ought to get together and meet behind a bathroom for some, gay love, because it sounds like both of you are really turning homosexual. Assuming you're not in New Jersey or California, which I can't scare you straight if you are. There's laws against that. Hey, I reloaded my fruit spray. Full bottle, ready to go. Oh, that's so refreshing. Okay, here we go. The next story about Bernie. Bernie Sanders' climate hawk spends nearly $300,000 on private jet travel in month. $300,000 on a private jet, blowing fumes everywhere. And he cares about ClimateGate. I promise you, I will not fly anywhere as president. Just to reduce my carbon footprint. If you want to talk, come meet me at the White House. You can stay at one of our outlying bungalows or possibly at the newly revamped USPS office, which will be a low-income housing facility when I get done with it. Johnny, just because I questioned your manhood and you're obviously turning gay doesn't mean you have to attack me for using fruit spray. Yeah, I can always tell a homophobe in the room, Johnny. And you got all the earmarks of a homophobe. Vaughn is bumping you out, I know. You're all being DDoSed. You're lucky to even be in here. Last night we had 5 people in that Vaughn did a reset on his entire server system, and I kept refreshing and going off and going back on, but I still had 5 people in the room at 2 in the morning. It was horrible. Well, let's get to the top of the issues facing the country right now, because I know I don't want to waste a lot of your time. Bernie is a waste of time. People at Hong Kong International Airport are wearing masks. One more airport staff member was confirmed to be infected with measles. So this is the proper way to handle a measles outbreak, not forced vaccinations like they're trying to do in New York. New York City is ordering mandatory vaccinations amid worst measles outbreak since 1991. Yeah, Mayor Bill de Blasio on Tuesday declared a public health emergency mandating that unvaccinated children living in certain zip codes must receive the measles bump rubella vaccine or their family could face heavy penalties. Just days after a judge threw out the Rockland County's emergency order to ban unvaccinated kids from all public places, the mayor decides to say, you got to do it. You got to have the vaccination. So how is he going to force these vaccinations on these kids, huh? Huh? Well, you going to walk up to Sam, I'm walking here. You going to stick me with a needle? Come on. Anyway, I need to remind you that measles is not deadly, assuming you're getting proper health care. People generally die from pneumonia because they live in squalid conditions and they have to eat their own feces for dinner. We don't need to vaccinate the water, Porker. They're already aerial vaccinating the air that we breathe. When we go outside, we're getting aerial vaccines as it is. So have no fear. They've been testing aerial vaccines for years.
Like keep getting bigger. Like.
Right. They're what lets him disperse, and I'll be happy to talk to you about it. I think you might be under some misconceptions about what we're doing, but I'm happy to tell you any details that you need.
Well, I know that it says in your article that you're doing it for communications.
Okay, I'm happy to talk to you more about it. There are many reasons we're doing it.
Okay.
We don't understand how the wind in the upper atmosphere moves.
Mm-hmm.
In these chemtrails, there's different kinds of chemtrails, as you probably know. Different trails at night we use and different trails during the day. The wind blows them around. They glow either on their own or from scattered sunlight.
Well, thanks for telling me now. So they are spraying us with chemtrails. They glow from either, sun-scattered sunshine and they're hitting us with lithium. And yes, they're also using a particular type of aerial vaccine, which I can't verify, but I'm pretty sure they're vaccinating us for the VMAT2 gene. What is the VMAT2 gene? Well, the Pentagon 10 years ago did a study on the VMAT2 gene, and it is the gene in our brain that causes critical thinking. It makes us think. Now they could come up with a vaccine to attack the VMAT2, and they're able to lower our thinking ability in the process.
And on the left over here, we have individuals who are religious fundamentalists, religious fanatics, and this is the expression, RT-PCR, real-time PCR expression of the VMAT2 gene. Over here, we have individuals. So let me complete. So over here, we have individuals who are not particularly fundamentalist, not particularly religious, and you can see there's a much reduced expression of this particular gene, the VMAT2 gene. Another evidence that supports our hypothesis for the development of this approach. What you see
here is by spreading this virus, we're going to eliminate individuals from donning on a bomb vest and
Right. By creating the virus, even at attenuated levels in our brain, they're able to nullify the VMAT2 gene. What does this mean? That means that our scientists at the Pentagon, and this was 15 years ago, not 10. Sorry, I was wrong. Our scientists at the Pentagon and National Institute of Health have been developing studies of rats and their brain neurology that are very similar to humans. So they know what makes us tick, just like rats. They can test a virus on a rat's brain and make it do things like stumble around and act like an idiot. Well, they can certainly use that same technology on humans, and aerial sprays work really well. In fact, remember when they did the nasal sprays for vaccines? They were so enormously successful, people really thought that was great. They pulled it off the market because it was working so well, they realized they could actually spray it from the air, from the skies. Yeah, so they're all set. We're already being aerial vaccinated right now. You're way ahead of the curve. Not to worry, though. Herd inoculation is going to require the political will of a brain-dead society. Now, if you have a brain in your head right now, you'll realize that you need to activate it and join this third party and promote it. Otherwise, you're going to be herd inoculated and sent to the FEMA camps, zip-tied, and probably incinerated, just like the Jews were back in Nazi Germany. But I don't want to scare you. The number of immigrants apprehended at the border spikes to 103,000 in March to hit a 12-year high, and people from 50 different countries have been caught crossing, other than Mexicans. Yes, I would wear a mask 24 hours a day if you guys are really, really xenophobic about the whole thing. Absolutely. So this data is completely predictable. I predicted we'd need a 1,000-mile fence 10 years ago. No, you're not scaring me. Okay, good. Thank you. The amount of atmosphere surrounding the Earth is almost inconceivably huge. Wrong. It's a finite layer of air that we breathe. You have no idea how fragile this beautiful Earth is. Your statement alone indicates your lack of intelligence and awareness. George Soros is paying you to be in here, Anita? Man? Are you, Anita, the person that has been attacking our show, talking about your colostomy bag for the past 2 years? Okay, welcome, Anita. As long as you're not the Anita who had a colostomy bag that she kept telling us she was changing every few minutes, you're welcome to stay. Nothing wrong with a colostomy bag or, anyone with a paper ass. That's not the problem. You can always purchase the special toilet paper. It's designed to calm you down. And the tea and mug selection is very good as well. I am receiving information that these people are coming to the border. It's totally predictable, acceptable. We need lots of hotels at the border. And since we don't have them, I have a wonderful solution that Donald Trump could use and execute right now. A solution that'll save the day, but Trump won't do it because he wants to make money on the border fence. I know. I have a container wall idea that could solve the immigration crisis. This container wall is viable. It could easily work. We just stack them too high, and with under $1 billion in cost, we could build this. We could make it better. A total cost of $1 billion to build a 1,000-mile container fence. Now, Trump stole the idea of a 1,000-mile fence and called it a wall. And then he hadn't even watched our show longer than one night, I think, when they asked him, how are you going to pay for it? And he said, Mexico is going to pay for it. I can't get my mouth to look like a butthole, but let me see if I can get it. Mexico's going to pay for it. That's better. I should get a little clip from my mouth when I do my Donald Trump like a rubber band around my... This is all predictable. I wouldn't react to the people coming in. Yeah, we had to take Anita out from the show because she kept harassing our show and flipping on this party and attacking me personally. It was a nightmare. We were being very nice, and every time she said, I'm going to go change my stoma bag now, and then she'd get up, and it's like, just change your bag. We don't need to hear about your colostomy bag every few minutes. Yeah. Planting trees is not going to solve our CO2 problem. That's why I'm urging oxygen generation as well as Venturi scrubbers. All the major peaks around the country could be retrofitted with filtration systems. We're not doing any air filtering of the carbon dioxide or carbon accumulation in the atmosphere at all. Zero air filtration other than your home unit and my home unit in here. Yeah, but you see, the government would rather spend $10 billion to do stratospheric aerial injection, which is what they are doing. Stratospheric aerosol injection, they call it. And they're claiming that this technology will somehow reflect the sun and cool the planet down. It's completely mindless. No thoughts went into the actual thought of geoengineering. A guy named David Keith has been the protagonist of this theory for years, and he got all the elitists to believe that this is the way to clean up the planet, is by more pollution. They believe that somehow by spraying the atmosphere with more chemicals, it'll clean it up. Now that's counterintuitive, right? There's no way we're going to clean up the atmosphere by dumping more chemicals in it, but they're on it. They believe that that's the way to go. And thank you, Max, for gifting us the cams. Appreciate it. Max is here every night to talk about himself and our show and share ideas like we talk about. I have a lot of photographs of chemtrails that we bring up in the show. Many of you have probably seen them and not even noticed what they are in the skies, but they are literally dumping chemicals on us every day. Here's a day in the life of one guy in Wyoming.
Look at this nasty, nasty bullshit. Oh, I'm a mad son of a bitch today. Look at this shit. Does this look like a Wyoming sky to you people?
No.
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 Hell no.
Hell no.
Been spraying the living shit out of us this morning.
Yeah, so that's the kind of reality check that a lot of people are getting every day. Scissor Fight gets sprayed in Orange County, California every day. By 4 o'clock, the whole sky is covered up with an overcast, preventing any moisture from settling. It's not like an overcast before a rain. It's an overcast of chemicals that prevent rain from forming. In order to get rain, you need lift, and these chemicals keep it from lifting. The moisture doesn't lift high enough to actually drop, to condense and drop. It's terrible. It's not just smog. I mean, we could talk about the air pollution from industry all night long, but what we're really dealing with is overall an attempt to kill off the planet rapidly by spraying these chemicals in the air we breathe. And it's an ongoing problem. I even created a website to describe what's happening called chemtrailparty.com. You can check it out. This is a video describing the chemicals, and it's time lapse, so you can see it a little faster than you would normally see it, but they literally are spraying everywhere across the country. And I think that's the sole reason why we're seeing changes in our magnetosphere that leads us to believe that climate change is happening. Now we have a president that doesn't even want to acknowledge this or climate change or anything. He doesn't even want to clean up industry. In fact, he relaxed all air pollution control standards that industry is causing right now. So clearly this president is out to lunch. Not all rain comes from lifted moisture, no. Well, yeah, it could be. It's a website I created called chemtrailparty.com. You can go there. It is got a link page that can give you much more information on this. It also describes the problem with lack of peer-reviewed studies, making it toxic. Oxygen blocks light for photosynthesis, and weather warfare has created droughts, hurricanes, earthquakes. This link button will give you more information, factual information. And this link down here will show you how they publish it in newspapers to make it seem like they're doing the right thing. The government quietly admits to weather modification program, and they publish it in the LA Times. Notice of intention to conduct a weather modification program. Okay, we inform the public. That's all we need to know. And Sarah is here. Thank you, Sarah, for coming in. Thanks. How are you?
Okay.
Good, good. Okay, I'm going to take that down. Okay, that's it.
No, Jane, David does not in the least.
We don't like Trump. The only thing that Trump has going for him is he steals my ideas. He enjoys taking ideas from our show, acting like he's intelligent, and he can't implement the ideas, but in essence, I like the fact that he's fighting for a wall. Yeah, the 1,000-mile fence is my idea. I'm the one who measured the distance. But many other ideas he's taken and he hasn't implemented. Yeah, he comes in the show quite often. We actually have him in as the Donald. He comes in here. Okay, Sarah's going to take over. There's a measles outbreak in New York City. That's the big story. And they're going to be implementing a New York City is going to be implementing forced inoculations on the children. Let me do a little cleanup here. We've got a few people. I had to do a cleanup last night on this.
Okay.
I'll take care of it. They're going to be on it.
Yes, David, that is Johnny. David just said that.
I'm going to put that on the far left.
No, Jane, he has never gotten on camera. I don't know if he goes to the iVlog site or
he hangs out at Vaughn. He's got a pretty good relationship with the Russians, and they like Vaughn.
Hello, Maxed Out Credit. Good evening.
Yeah, Maxed Out Credit is in. He gifted us the program pro this month.
Oh, cool. So
Maxed Out Credit gifted us. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Okay, here's Sarah. ChemtrailParty.com is not on my website. It's not affiliated with our website. I'm building other sites so that I can inform people primarily. I haven't. Well, Easter's not yet. Easter's in a couple weeks, so we haven't celebrated Easter yet.
Well, I was just reading about water spouts today, Dr. Meow.
Donald Jr. comes in as a guest over at iVlog. They prefer the anonymity of it. I had him. Donald Jr. came in the other night, and I said, I have nothing personally against you or your dad or any of your family members. I actually kind of like you people. The problem with the family is they're just so greedy. The family of greed, and I'm just being very upfront about that. The greed is a national security risk for us. Okay.
Yeah. So, the third party, America's third party, is in the middle of the political spectrum. We're not Democrats, we're not Republicans, we're in the middle, we're centrists, we're fiscally conservative, you could say, and socially liberal. We believe that the government shouldn't be spending tons of money, but we do believe in helping people wherever possible. Yes, and I have heard there are other countries that probably do chemtrails, if you believe that. Oh, yay, Daryl VJ, thank you. Yes, you can think of David as Sponheim running as an independent. He's running under America's third party, but similar to an independent. Very similar. You haven't been on here before, Anita? We used to have somebody in here named Anita, but I think it was somebody different. Yes, David is a write-in candidate. Correct. You're brand new? Okay. So if David, there was someone in here named Anita who I think stopped coming to this show. I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you're new. This one is Anita Mann. Is it like I need a man? Maybe. There's far more about boiling water than we think of it. Okay. Hi, sir. Did you know the shades on those glasses make me look like I just... Oh, because I know it's these glasses, they automatically adjust in the sunlight. So it's when they're in this middle stage with going back into the indoors that they do look like I'm trying to wear shades inside, which I'm not. But anyway. And I guess Jane is new to the show as well. So welcome. You think John Lennon would be jealous of my sunglasses? Maybe. Well, these are really great because I used to be too busy to go to grab sunglasses when I went outside or change my glasses when I go outside, and these I can just walk outside and forget to change them. And they just change automatically. Yes, these are Adidas frames. How did you know? Did you hear my story about how I bought the Adidas frames? They were discontinued, but I saw them on it's a long story, but I basically said I need them. I want them. How tall am I with flats? I'm 5'11", and David is 6'4". I thought they found another nearby place where they actually found the place where they mined the stones for Stonehenge. Yeah, I like transition lenses. Maybe, Gunther. You found a pair of old Varney sunglasses from the 70s you used to wear when skiing. I've been cleaning things out and finding things too. Hopefully if I do that, then I can find what I'm actually looking for. Yes, Jacket, you're right. You thought about me today and how happy that organizing method, KonMari method, made me. It has made me really happy. At least at home. I still have to work on it at school. What is the cleaning method? Oh, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a jump drive that I have some certain information on. Oh, I wonder if it's in here. Oh, I think I found it. I'll try that one. And this one. Oh, I don't know. I should ask David. Because they might be on a different one. I'll ask David if these are his. Or if these are mine. He probably knows. That's why I need to ask him, right? Clicked. You folded a few new pairs of socks like that? You like it already? Ah, you're going to do the entire drawer after you do laundry. And then the other thing she talks about is how I showed you it in a shoebox. She talks about storing things in a shoebox. No, I did not watch the Joan of Arc documentary. I wonder if this is mine. I put on Windows something on here. Well, I could open it on this computer and look. Maybe I'll have to do that. Or at least I know where these are. So basically she says when you put things in your drawer, if you need, like, because sometimes to put them in like boxes, like shoe boxes, so that you can, it makes a space for just that thing. So I have like all my undergarments in one shoebox, certain other feminine undergarments in just like a lid. Yeah, it makes it like a compartment. Exactly. And then I have like 2 rows of socks in one of the shoe boxes, 2 or 3. I love that whole idea of, like, she talks about socks in particular, and I'm listening to her book on audiobook, and she talks about how, like, people, I used to roll my socks, and she's like, that's the worst thing you can do. It binds them and they need their elastic. And also about, no, Mad Dog, I did not watch the documentary you recommended about Joan of Arc. But she talks about them like wanting a rest, like your shoes, and you should thank your clothing and thank everything, your possessions, for helping you through the day. Well, the way to correctly do your socks is to put them together, and then instead of putting them one inside the other like that, is to fold them together, because it's bad for the elastic. You rotate your shoes. Oh, like you flip them upside down, or you go through different pairs. Oh, you never wear the same shoes 2 days in a row. Oh, you are super nice to your shoes so that they have a chance to rest. Yeah, so you need to look up KonMari sock folding. I know you think I would really enjoy it. That's what you need to look up. Yeah, I'm sure there is a lot to learn from the life of Joan of Arc. Thank you, Jane. I enjoy. Please bookmark our show, and where we broadcast every night except for Sunday. Oh, thanks for the friend request too. 5G, we're ready for it. Oh, the cat. The cat was not look happy. I think that just makes things worse. Okay, thanks, Jane. Nice to meet you. Wow, 17, the youngest person ever to lead a country's army. Wow. And then did you know about, instead of stacking, you should have them up, because then if you stack things, it causes pressure and it pushes down. Yeah, and folding, but then storing on ends when you fold. It's pretty interesting. I think the Army of France. Ambition is here is laughing. But yes, I fold almost, they say if you folding is the best way to store things, but not fold and stack, fold in. There should be nothing underneath whatever you folded. That makes sense. Except for your drawer. Like, wait, what? Yeah, that's it. Fold and stack, so you can look at all of your things in one. Like, not fold and stack. Make them stand up. Yeah, exactly, Daryl VJ. When you fold them. Anyway, that's a KonMari folding thing. That I love that, and it really does take up a whole lot less room. Like, I had one of David's drawers. I was able to take stuff from one of David's drawers. I have like 3 drawers and David has a couple drawers. But I was able to take his whole drawer. It seemed full, and then I just folded and everything like fit in like a third of the drawer, and then I took some of the other stuff from the other drawer, and it was just great. Yep. Well, stand up everything is what is what Kamari says. How's 5G a conspiracy? Because certain people believe that when they install the 5G network, it'll fry us. Like they'll microwave us or something. Yes. Well, I haven't tackled his second drawer. Yeah, maybe David could. That exactly, see, Cliff, what Gunter's saying. I can only take care of my... Yeah, my drawers are only 6 inches deep. So what you do is you fold them in a way that makes a triangle, and then you fold them so that it's standing on end that's 16 inches deep. So that you normally, like in your 6-inch deep drawers, if you were to fold your shirts and then you stack them, I mean, I'm sure you could fit some shirts, but if you fold them, first you fold it into a rectangle, a small, like a rectangle, and then you fold it into a rectangle, and it's stacked 6 inch, so that it's basically it's a 6-inch by whatever. So 6 inches by that thin, and then the next stack is 6 inches. So that's what you do. I know, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, good point. Yeah, it's really cool. I should show you guys pictures of my drawers. Oh, I left it in the other room. I showed you my socks, and my socks were rolling your tees is pretty good too. Yeah. The only issue would be if you, yeah. Anyway, rolling is the second favorite thing she does is. So she rolls tights. You're reading mostly sci-fi lately? I like to read nonfiction. Wait, you got a letter from the lawyer today. It said final notice. What is this about, Jacket Pockets? I do wonder what your thing is about. You should probably be careful. Make sure you read that letter if it says final. That doesn't mean they won't bother you again. It means that this is your last chance to act before they take bigger... Okay, it's your attempt at a joke. Okay, sorry. You know how you can never read like sarcasm or jokes in print? That's my problem. Okay, Mad Dog really thinks we should watch this documentary about Joan of Arc.
I can't. I tried to watch it last night. It was disturbing.
Okay.
Yeah. I tried to get into it, and I just immediately, it was boring within the first 5 minutes. It was just boring.
Okay.
We have not seen Misanthropy in the room here. We're worried about him. We haven't seen him in a couple days.
Yesterday, maybe.
Did you?
I don't know.
I don't think I saw him yesterday either. He said he was involved with a kind of a weird woman. Hey,
Yeah,
thanks,
that's
Daryl.
true.
Thanks. Yeah, so I'm not sure if he got involved with like a, one of those nightmare relationships.
This
Oh,
broke on
that's
me.
your connector?
It broke on me.
Oh, okay.
So I went and got another one.
Oh, wow.
But then I have to fix that, and that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
I know.
Yeah, I hope Miss Antiphy's doing well.
We don't know. We haven't heard from him. He's usually never missed a night. He's kind of gone. If at first you don't succeed, then skydiving is not for you. I like that. That's good.
That's pretty funny.
Thanks, Sarah. Take a break. Enjoy your evening. Now, Barr is caught in a world of lies. William Barr, our current Attorney General, he's flip-flopping like Trump is, and now he's got redactions over his statements because, like I said, Barr wrote a 19-page letter saying there's no obstruction before anyone even investigated. So how is he even capable of ruling anything at this point based on his own mistakenly overzealous desire to stop the investigation? He should recuse himself. Daryl, we're not campaigning any more than we are right now. This is the campaign. We weren't able to get enough donations to hit the road. Yeah, you need millions of dollars to campaign in America. Because nobody seems to have any money, this third party is basically growing on the internet only. That's all we can do. Yeah, Trump's been flip-flopping quite a bit, yeah. Especially about the border. I mean, he cost me $1 extra for my avocados. Yes, we will. Yeah, that's John Goodman. No, that's William Barr, the guy who's a deep state guy that Trump put in office of Attorney General. He had already made up his mind before the Mueller investigation was completed. This is all corrupt. We're looking at total collusion. I know it's hard for many of you to understand that. You're still clinging to the belief that Trump can do no wrong. Cam 4 is always an option to spread. Yeah, why don't you do Cam 4 or Cam 5 or Cam 6 or Cam 7? If you want, try Cam 8. You know, we've got 6 cams over there. Pro Cam, you could start over there, Captain Howdy, of Pro Cams. Are you talking about spreading the word? You guys can multicast me. You don't have any problem. You can grab the signal and put me out there with you talking in the background. You're right. John Goodman is playing William Barr. That's amazing. All the people coming in here through the gates, why do we need to go? They're not. They're escaping around the gates because they don't have any green cards. So they go through the empty areas, which our government has not defended because people like Trump need to hire illegal aliens at a low cost. Wake up, America. You've been slow cooked like a lobster. That's right. You thought the water was nice and cool. It's getting hotter every second. Meet Jonathan the Turtle, born in the 1830s. Why are you talking about such nonsensical things? He's that old, really? And he's alive? That is pretty cool. Meet Jonathan the Turtle, everybody. Check it out. There it is. Born in 1830, he's still alive. Wow. I'm impressed. That's really good. Thank you. Okay, let's look at some anomalous activity here. More UFO interceptions.
He captured something extraordinary over Orange County, California. Take a look at this. Is this some kind of geoengineering chemtrail along with this fast-tracking UFO? We're going to play it right now.
aside from the music, it's pretty good. I was just trying to find out. There's some sort of a UFO flying next to the chemtrail. It's very weird. Getting to the bottom of this is difficult. I'm trying to find out exactly what's going on. Huh. Yeah, I saw some. Yeah, it's like flying above it. It's a hovering. Well, I don't know where it. You listen to some people and they act like Jonathan the Turtle, you know, like whatever. It's safe to say this guy does not respond to anything. He's just like kind of an inert mass going, 118.30. That's ridiculous. My sound's cutting off for various reasons. I'm trying to limit the sound from the music because it could ultimately be monetized, believe it or not. And then the other sound factor is having to constantly deal with other noises that I'm constantly surrounded by.
We take pictures and we can see how the wind trail moves around.
Yeah. Just like keep getting bigger. Like, wow.
I don't know who you're talking about. It's a news anchor wearing glasses. I don't have any information on that. A vicious little attempt to steal New York's property as city officials' fingerprints all over it. Whoa. A lot of land grab going on in local governments across the nation. Corruption is everywhere. Every city in America is filled with these corrupt little money grabbing Democrats and Republicans. We're talking about a vicious land grab here. A vicious little land grab. Yeah, it has city official fingerprints all over it. A man's home is supposed to be his castle, but this is no longer the case in New York City, according to a Brooklyn man who says the Big Apple officials are hiding or aiding and abetting a next-door neighbor's attempt to steal his property. Wow. Been a long ordeal for John Hawkins-Jones and his wife Irina, whose twists and turns included a false arrest by NYPD. The problem started in 2009, they say, when the couple Argo and Ellen Palmier purchased the home next to them with plans for an ambitious overhaul. According to the Hawkins-Joneses, red flags flew when they were approached to sign documents turning over a 2-foot easement to their new neighbor. I spoke to the Hawkins-Jones recently on the phone, and Irina told me their suspicions were born out of marked a chunk of the driveway as theirs. Okay. The building department proved it, and they've been battling the Palmiers in City Hall ever since. Well, it's a touching little video, you know, and a story about, you know, land grabs going on all across the country. Really. People trying to take away from somebody else. Happens everywhere. Bad news. Trump's released thousands of illegals into Phoenix, Atlanta, and you live in Dallas, Fort Worth, and not happy about it. Yeah, we knew this was going to happen. Trump can't handle the border. He never could. He stole my idea of building a 1,000-mile fence. I would have had the container fence built by now. Jeez, I've been telling all of you people how serious this need for a party was for the past 10 years. It's getting ridiculous. Everything's too little too late now. So it's unfortunate. They're trying to take his land. I've seen this happen time and time again. Throughout my years, I've seen county governments try to profit from local real estate. It's going on all the time. So one of the things I want to do is develop a 1-800 number nationally where you can report local community governments. Isn't that a great idea? I mean, surely many of you know about corruption at some level in your local community. I'm sure you've all got individual stories. I know I do. I would love to be able to make a phone call and say, hey, you know, this building down the street is not built by federal code. They're building a, you know, dangerous structure. Check it out. ICE is really out to lunch. They're overdoing it. They're now recklessly dropping them, letting them go out, catch and release. Trump is into the catch and release stage. He just doesn't know when to stop. He didn't have any preparations for his zero tolerance program, so while he continues to talk about zero tolerance, he hasn't a plan in place to deal with the overflow of children and families. He's already veritably been responsible for the abduction of 4,500 children. And we don't even know where the girls are, because all the photographs are little boys, little Spanish-speaking boys. Where are all the girls, Donald? Are they being sold into sex trafficking to your friend Jeffrey Epstein? You love working at ICE. Why don't you just put your head in the refrigerator? It would be a lot easier. Instead of working for ICE, just refrigerate it. They beat the illegals up and then they release them. Captain Howdy here says he works for ICE and he beats these people up and then releases them. Thanks for your eyewitness experience. It's always nice to hear from an abuser. Yeah, Trump hasn't done anything in New York City either. They don't like him in New York City. He doesn't pay his own bills. Trump doesn't even pay his own workers. I'm serious. There were like 60 Polish workers that sued him because not one of them got paid for building a building that he owns. Okay, we've got the wreckage of a Japanese U.S. defense F-35 crash, folks. This came in today's news. I'll bring it in. Tokyo rescue teams search and rescues found wreckage belonging to a Japanese Lockheed Martin F-35 stealth fighter that disappeared on Tuesday. Well, it would have been nice to know it was gone on Tuesday, and here it is, gone. A military spokesman said on Wednesday. Okay, well, what year is this? April 9th. I guess it's a day later there, so it's kind of like right now. All right. The recovered wreckage determined it was from the F-35. Japan's first squadron of F-35s has just become operational at the Misawa Air Base, and the government plans to buy 87 of the stealth fighters to modernize its air defenses as China's military power grows. 87 F-35s. Well, that's pretty amazing that China wants to buy or Japan wants to buy 87 of these stealth fighters. That's kind of cool. Yeah, even though they're not the best stealth fighters. The topic tonight is Truth Tuesday. Technically, we talk about 9/11 and how the cover-up of 9/11 occurred a long, long time ago. Now it seems like 18 years ago. But now the engineers and architects and engineers of 9/11 believe that they have solid evidence they're presenting as proof that demolition was used in the destruction of the 9/11 attack. Last night we showed you the falsity and fakery of the Waco incident where
what these tanks are doing in each picture is collapsing the inside stairwells house. You can see that this tank has a gas jet on the front that shoots fire. You can also see the fire quite plainly. The tank goes into the house twice, and each time as it backs out, the fire at the gas jets is plainly visible.
Plainly visible. So they were burning the children, 25 kids at Waco. Okay, fast forward to 9/11. Yeah. If they were willing to burn 77 kids or 77 people, 25 of which were children, they were certainly willing to demolish 3 buildings with detonations while Bush sat there reading from a book. Yeah.
Get ready to read all these words on this page without making a mistake. Look at the letter at the end and remember the sound it makes. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready to read this word the fast way. Get ready. Kid. Yes, kid. Sound it out. Get ready. Kid. Sound it out. Get ready. Kid. What word? Kid. Yes, kid. Boys and girls, sound this word out. Get ready. Seal. What word? Seal. Yes, steel. Read these words the fast way. Get ready. Playing. Yes, playing. Get ready. Must. Yes, must. Let's read these words the fast way without making a mistake. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready. Kit. Yes, kit. Get ready. Seal. Yes.
What's the likelihood of those kids reading that particular thing? Kite hit, steel plane must. Sound is back on. What's the likelihood of, what a strange phrase too, to have these kids reading. How ironic. How do we know there isn't some connection here? Anyway, as you can see, Bush was reading the book upside down. And he was told during this entire meeting, you know, that the Trade Center was under attack, and he's reading it upside down. You see that book is upside down? He's not even reading the book. So what was he doing? Why was Dick Cheney on the phone with General Worley for 33 or 35 minutes, and not one single plane was mobilized to intercept? Why did they let the World Trade Center attack occur? Now, nobody in our government has even begun to answer these questions. All they've said was, oh, well, you're a bunch of truthers. They call you names. They think that you're some sort of a nut job for believing it. I got a guy on the field in Pennsylvania who said there were no bodies when Flight 93 crashed. Where did all the bodies go? Where have all the bodies gone?
On fire, some small fires in the woods, just small brush fires. You know, the ground smoking. Debris everywhere, pieces of metal, paper, insulation, wiring, and I just looked around and no people, you know, and I'm thinking, where are the people?
Where are all the people at Flight 93? Long time standing. You know, one guy, the Cleveland mayor, said that flight landed. We got all kinds of stories that are all over the place. Asymptotic. It's hyperbolic. I'm testing your vocabulary tonight. That's where they killed our Lord. Oh, okay. Anyway, the Flight 93 issue, the fact that the trade centers went down and Building 7 wasn't even hit by a plane and it went down too. So we've got a lot of questions. We'd like answers. Okay, any other questions about 9/11? Because we can move on. I do plan on opening up an investigation into the 9/11 Commission report. We've got probably 50 things we could talk about 9/11, but you know, it's just one thing after another that are not being addressed. The one true thing is that we don't have any power to overturn this case, and whatever the architects and engineers at 9/11 are able to do is great, but we don't have any political representation. Well, the big smoking gun here is Building 6, not just Building 7 not being hit by a plane, but Building 6 was never investigated for having an explosion. But I tell you, look at the inside of this building. Tell me that building was not demolished with a bomb. It clearly was demolished with a bomb. Yeah, it's pretty serious. All the outlines of the building show bomb actual activity. So something central was placed. If they had time to do that, to place a bomb, then they must have had forethought and planning. And that was never, ever even investigated by the 9/11 Commission report. So they just slam dunked on the case of the planes knocking the towers down, end of story, bye-bye. And then supposedly 17 Saudi Arabians, which we still have not caught, or there's even a desire to catch. There's no all points bulletin out for these 17 people. We still don't have anyone apprehended who killed 2,996 people. It looked like a controlled implosion. Judy Wood's theory that it was dustification, a very strong theory that they use some new scalar weapon that can dustify things. You want that queued up? Okay, I had a request for other things like that, Howie. So we have people like you in the show, obviously as represented by this guy. Yeah, we understand you're kind of a half-wit. So here you go. Here's your motto. You're the famous guy you always ask for every night.
Hey, do you ever wonder, like, what is going on? I mean, like, do you ever, like, wake up or do something and you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Do you ever wake up and wonder why you have a third eye? I know I do. Yeah, it's terrible. It started growing when I was younger, and as you can see, it's starting to form its outside. The marks will begin to form, and I think these are prongs, actually. I've got a positive and a negative lead there. All right. No, I think that it was from the original design when a third eye was necessary. My original program was called Cyclops. They changed me to the Hydra, the many-headed snake. Yeah, someday somebody's going to look at all these videos and go, is this guy some sort of an Illuminati puppet? Or is he CGI? Or a robot, even? I know. Last Wig Wednesday, I forgot. My hair was so good that what I do sometimes is have the best hair coming into Wig Wednesday, and if I nail it like I did last week, I wouldn't have to wear a wig. It's as simple as that. And you wouldn't have to worry about important things like why the government would burn 77 people at Waco. That's clearly a propane cylinder bursting flames into the Waco building.
And each time as it backs out, the fire at the gas jets is plainly visible.
So they burned 25 children and the remaining 77 total. And I think it's time for cowbell. And I don't have it on hand. I'm trying to emerge from this story with some sense of purpose other than, playing a cow story or cowbell. Isn't it amazing? I had so many great hopes for Truth Tuesday, but it all blew up in my face. Everything eventually turns to nuclear dust. I've got the jets flying over my house, getting ready for war. And here I thought I solved all the wars in the world. Now I've got Donald Trump building an intermediate nuclear force, and so is Vladimir Putin. We closer and closer to the brink of the nuclear time clock, top of the hour. Things are getting hot and heavy out there in make-believe land. Yeah, you hear jets, because jets are always on in our show, because we are in a jet path. We are literally being strafed every day. No, it isn't hard to sleep. They stop at around 2 in the morning. That's usually when I go to bed anyway. Hey, here's an article about Ocasio-Cortez being a fraud. All right, let's take a look. This is bound to be interesting. On Monday's episode of The Michael Knowles Show, the host discussed Democratic Rep. Ocasio-Cortez's attempt to pander to an audience by mimicking a stereotyped accent. Knowles suggested this is yet more evidence that the freshman New York lawmaker is a fraud. Transcript and video below.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi appears to have made a critical, albeit indirect, comment about Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Pelosi said in a recent interview with USA Today, while there are people who have a large number of Twitter followers, what's important is that we have large numbers of votes on the floor of the House. Ocasio-Cortez, who has nearly 4 million people following her on that social media platform, is behind the Green New Deal, which calls for sweeping and rapid changes to how the U.S. produces and consumes energy. Trump, on the other hand, has been slightly more direct about criticizing Ocasio-Cortez.
The Green New Deal, done by a young bartender, 29 years old.
Yeah,
This is what organizing looks like. Right. This is what building power looks like.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I think. She is pandering to a certain type of people. You know what I'm saying? I think it's perfectly okay that she used an accent. You know, in defense of Ocasio, I mean, I hate to stand there and be the devil's advocate, but come on. Y'all can say anything you want to say. It's called freedom of speech, man. I don't do drag. Well, Rudy Giuliani is my favorite transvestite. I don't believe that Rudy Giuliani, the governor that is responsible for the respiratory damage of 55,000 people in New York due to the fact that he didn't tell them to wear a mask, I don't believe that that man is in and of itself a transsexual. But I do believe Rudy Giuliani is a transvestite. I think it's safe to say that. We can go to the case of evidence we have before us. You're traveling through a transgender dimension.
You know, you're really beautiful. And a woman that looks like that has to have her own special scent.
Oh, thank you. Maybe you could tell me what you think of this scent.
I like that.
This may be the best of all. Oh, you dirty boy, you. Oh. Donald, I thought you were a gentleman.
You can't say I didn't try.
Yeah, can't say you didn't like trannies either. It's tranny here, yeah. All I can say is I want to emerge as a different type of person, not a person you think is some sort of a tranny. I want to emerge as a man who can disappear at a moment's notice, only to be replaced by his third eye, which will be blinking in the middle of the earth, giving knowledge to the people that are so in need of intelligence. If only I could be everything to everyone. If only I was CGI. Okay, so pretty much picking on her for pandering to a crowd. I mean, what politician in the world has not pandered to a crowd? I mean, come on. They can dig a little deeper, like the fact that she doesn't understand economics, yet she claims to have a degree in economics from Boston University, which I seriously need to look up. That was really Trump. It was really Trump. It was really him. I have to close my mouth to do a Trump impersonation. Sorry. Well, whatever she is, she's on some really good stuff. Unfortunately, I wasn't born with a mouth that looked like a butthole. Do you consider yourself to be... I would pander to a group of people if they wanted me to talk in their language. Sure. Say, they could be like standing around going, man, you are so white, man. Y'all talk like a white man. You pretend to be a white man. You talk like a white man. And I'm going, well, no, actually, I don't talk like a white man. I prefer white bread. Well, actually, organic, non-GMO, whole wheat. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why we have to make a big deal about her using whatever. If Ocasio wants to let it out, she should let it out. In fact, she should take her clothes off just to get elected. Don't you think? That would be great. How many? Press 1 if you'd like to see her disrobe. I have reported him, yeah. So no one wants to see her naked? Badger Waxer and Cliff to Chat says, sure, why not? Well, wouldn't that be something, you know, because that's really the next step for Ocasio is to take her top off. Where's she going from here? She's already plateaued. She's already come off as a complete superficial idiot. Where do you go from there? I mean, Stormy Daniels area? Maybe do a few dances? Pole dances? Wow, your fantasy is really taking off. Cap Nowdy, you should write a byline at Playboy magazine or something. I don't know. Does Hustler still have a Chester the Molester category? You could probably send input there. Jeez, some of you people. You know, I don't blame you at all for being perverts. Our own vice president is obviously a perv. I mean, what he's been doing, geez. Pervy Joe. Well, when he asked a 13-year-old girl if she knew how horny he got around her, that was weird, you know? I thought that was really strange. Listen to this.
Times when he gently rearranges a young girl's hair and whispers in her ear, then rearranges some more. There's the morning pervy here as he leans in for a kiss.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, come on, slide in here.
Thank you. Maggie, do you want to come over here?
Come on, slide in here. That was weird. That was when he asked a 13-year-old girl to ask him about I'd like to know about the film with Ashley. Joe, if you're listening, I want to know about the film you made with your daughter, Ashley. Joe, could you please send us the film that you made from your daughter, Ashley? This is so weird. How can anyone possibly talk about their daughter in a film and to a 13-year-old and talk about how horny he is? It's crazy. And the media won't cover that story. They're selectively avoiding that one little scene with Joe Biden approaching the 13-year-old. Isn't that interesting? You see how the deep state works and controls the media? We've got a lot of good things happening in the hopper aside from centrist politics here at America's Third Party, where we try to find common ground. I'm also introducing a concept that I've talked about for some time now, the Media Verification Alliance. I'm going bigger on that, and we should be able to get much more information forward. I've opened up a new channel on another network, and that's exciting. We're going to have a channel at 153news.net. And I'm going to be starting to make more videos that are cutting edge and talk about things that we need to talk about, like Pizzagate, or the New Zealand fakery recently to get gun control, or the sex crime statistics in D.C. Look at this. D.C.'s obviously got the most sexual offenders out there, and yet we've got the fewest people arrested. U.S. cities with frequency of registered sex offenders is definitely Washington, D.C. You can see it's the largest circle. So we'll be getting into the details of all the fakery, false flaggery, suppression of evidence in the case of Pizzagate. And the Media Verification Alliance will kind of consume me this year, I think. I'm going to be kind of developing films for 153 News. That's what I've decided to do. Not enough people are asking enough questions. And I'm not afraid to ask questions. I think everyone has the right to ask questions about where's the evidence? You know, why do all of these situations have one common ingredient? And the case of like the Charleston shooting, the church shooting, the media verification, one of the first things I'm going to talk about in the Alliance is this idea that there have been no open caskets of any of the dead people. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, they don't want anyone to see the terrible tragedy of their loved one being killed and all of this. And I get that. And I understand a certain layer of protection to keep people from being, you know, exposed. That's important, but it's far worse than that. Yeah, I wish we could get to the bottom of every single story, but the only picture of anyone who's ever done an open casket has been the Charleston shooting of the pastor, and we've exposed that story a few times on our show. So this is one of the things the Media Verification Alliance will look at. Here it is. This is something I retrieved from a thumbnail category because it had been completely clipped from the internet. All the stories about this are gone, wiped out. And this is the only case of an open casket in all these cases over the past 50. So this will be my first Media Verification Alliance clip that I'll be adding. And I'll be doing a variety of things. And I've got an open leader I just worked on today, a 1.5 minute discussion of, and I'm going to add video to it, to the subject. So that's going forward. I want everyone to know that I'm not just sitting on my hands. We are developing new ways of reaching people, and 153news.net has got to be the best thing going. They are the most open to people uploading videos than anybody out there. YouTube is censoring everybody, and there are not a lot of other options for people. And that's the sad truth. We are moving toward a new world order and a big brother situation. And if we can stop it at a local level, we'll be able to stop this attempt to destroy all of our nations, not just America. These monetary elitists want to wipe out all of our borders. Russia, if you're listening, they want to control you through Putin. That's how they control your country. They buy him. They own him. Putin is a very rich guy, so rich that, he doesn't want anyone to know he has $200 billion. Putin didn't want anyone to know that Donald Trump offered him a $50 million penthouse suite in the Trump Moscow Towers, which was never built. Putin doesn't want anyone to know that he's a capitalist at heart. Well, there you go. Yeah. Well, I will send it out to you. 153news.net is the location. If you want to get started on a primer of stuff that we've been storing, videos that other people have been making at 153news.net, I've got a link right here to my Flipboard link storage area, and I'll take you directly to the 153news.net site. And here's the link right here. This will get you started. All the videos here usually would have been kicked off of YouTube. And that's the starter right there, 153news.net starter. That takes you right to the selection. And we've got a lot of them. Really good stuff. Let me give you a kind of a visual sampling of what we're looking at. This is my Flipboard of the show. Links that we've gotten recently. This is a great one that we just got last night. It's called 2025. It's the story of our future. It's an animation, recent animation. If we're headed in the same direction we're headed. Lots of stories about fake things that happened at this. This is one story where they're exposing Max Egan as a shill for the New World Order, supporting the mainstream narrative that gun control is necessary. We've got all kinds of good stuff. Hillary Clinton is in on this New Zealand gun control thing. Yeah, anyway, it's got this guy is an artificial robot. It's pretty funny. Anyway, you can just go through the links one after the other. You'll see they're kind of edgy.
All right, so quick video here. My mom told me about this. I woke up and she was like, "You got to see this. I recorded this. This is so creepy. I couldn't believe it." I mean, I could believe it because I had been talking about this. Just like when people always say, "How can everyone be in on it?" Oh, how could everyone be in on it? Are you sure everyone's human? Watch this.
I think I might be in trouble. China has developed a virtual anchor to deliver the news. Watch this.
Hello, everyone. I'm an English artificial intelligence anchor. This is my very first day in Xinhua News Agency. My voice.
Now, yeah, the voice makes him sound like a robot. But when you look at that, that does not look like a robot. That looks like a human. That looks real as shit. My mom was like, I couldn't tell the difference. And honestly,
your mom knows. It looks real as shit. I wonder how real that looks like. Has anyone ever seen shit? Apparently humans conduct what is called fecal contamination, in which they see their own shit. He is an AI. Yeah, the guy is an AI. Aren't you glad I'm not? That would kind of suck if I was. So, centrist politics really is about creating a compromise, finding a middle ground on issues, whatever they may be. Obviously, I'm not willing to compromise when it comes to questioning 9/11, so I'm not really a centrist in that department. I'm not really a centrist in areas where they're going to force me to take my guns away. I'm definitely supportive of your rights to bear arms. Gun rights are paramount. I think I'm a centrist beyond the Bill of Rights. I don't think I should have to stand on one side or the other of the Second Amendment. I believe the Bill of Rights stands for itself. I don't even have to take a position on that. So consider gun control off the table forever, as long as I'm in charge. Thank you. And I will wear these glasses whenever I can. And Maxed Out Credit showed me that he has glasses like these. And he found them at a high-end, like a lumber store. So Max has glasses very similar to these. So, and he's been, showing off his wonderful hairdo for us. I like that. It's the new look. See? He and I have the same glasses. Isn't that cool? Thanks, Max. Pretty much identical, I think. Except, no, I have a black line in the middle. This may be different. Yeah, I have a black right in there, but everything else is good. Yeah, friend disabled. No, he was kind of disabled, I guess. Friends are disabled. Yeah, I have friends disabled right now. Thanks for spotting that. Yes, and then of course these are the economical version Uvex, correct, Deeker? You can get these for $10 on eBay or Amazon. And if you want to save your eyes from the deadly UV blue light that comes off of your desktops and your tablets, this is by far the best way to go. Everything lights up. It's kind of like, wow, I can see again. No, I'm not a big, strong gun collector myself. I got a couple pieces. I take care of business. You really don't need a lot of guns if you know how to shoot. So I think when you realize that, if your future is about gun collecting, I used to know a guy who had a gun collection of over 100 weapons. He was a friend of my mother's. We went to his house in Kansas City. And I swear this guy had over 100 or 150 guns all over the walls of his house. I can see if you're a gun collector, you just love guns and you got the old ones, the Colt 45s, and that's fine. But don't get rounds, thousands of rounds that could be a fire hazard. So if you're, say, a mosque with lots of guns collecting for your a jihad against the Western culture, we're going to be actually doing something that Donald Trump is not doing. Instead of invoking a gun control law, we're going to invoke safety laws to make sure that you don't store lots of armaments or lots of bullets with your guns, especially if you're a Muslim enclave of jihadists who are training your paramilitary group to conduct terrorist acts in our own country. Right now, there's 24 of those potential terrorist organizations in America, and Trump isn't doing a damn thing to stop them. So we will be using fire laws to prevent dangerous armament buildup with munitions. It's really the munitions that we have to worry about. But these are modifications to our existing laws that will not impinge upon our Second Amendment. Can we see your scar on your forehead? You're talking about the lead where my brain is connected to my third eye? Of course. What is preventing you from seeing that? Let me position my third eye over my primary unit. I am now active with my third eye. Ask me any questions. I got these at Uvex. This is a Uvex brand, Johnny. It's made by Honeywell, 3M company. Yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me while my third eye is active. Beep. Storing ammo is a fire hazard, I'm sorry to say. Yeah, we're not going to, like the mosque in New Zealand, they happen to have a cartridge laying around right in front of the, when the guy was walking in with a supposed repeater rifle that made air sounds, that New Zealand guy, he looked down and there was an exact magazine exactly designed for his gun ahead of him, and he happened to pick it up on the way out. You saw that? Yeah, a full clip too. David, those are safety glasses. Yes, they are. They're safety glasses, but they're better than that because they block the dangerous UV light that desktops are emitting. Do I have to scare the living daylights out of you people to make you realize you got to wear these things when you look at the computers at night? You asked me a question. David, do you like the movie Dirty Harry? Go ahead and make my day. The question is, do you feel lucky? Well, do ya, punk? Robot Dave. I'm telling you, if you don't get protective glasses like these, you could get macular degeneration at the age of 50. That means your entire show would be comprised of, yeah, I guess the best way to describe it would be, this would be what you would see. That would be your daily view of everything. Kind of dark in here. Now it's dark. Yeah. If I said storing ammo is a fire hazard reality, you've got to bend to my will. That's right. I'm trying to help you understand that storing rounds of ammo, everybody needs a few hundred rounds. No question. You're going to go out on the range and do your target practice, but you don't need 1,000. Now, if you are storing thousands of rounds of ammo, I'm not going to go door to door looking for your ammo, okay, dude? But if you're a jihadist mosque who happen to be arming up for Armageddon, and they don't call it Armageddon for nothing, you want to arm and get some. Yeah, but the fact is, we don't need religious organizations of any kind, even hardcore militant religious organizations arming up and adding huge amounts of munitions to storage areas. That's a fire hazard. I do not want to judge Muslims. No, quite opposite. If we're dealing with people who are gun collectors, who are militant groups. You know that there's like 10,000 militias in Florida alone? I mean, hello? We're not going to go door to door and break down every door in America because you've got rounds of ammo. We're not even going to set a number on it. If it's stored incorrectly in non-fire protected units which have locking cases, then, you know. In 2013, Call of Duty featured Caracas as the site of its war scene in Venezuela, a first-person shooter game which also depicted the Gurley hydroelectric dam. The Gurley. Part of the mission is to install a virus in the electrical system to generate a blackout. Wow, thank you, Cal Worthington. That's really interesting. Let's all think about that game right now and talk about it. Yeah, I don't want to have an assault weapons ban. I mean, we don't even know if that's a .22 rifle. How do you know? I mean, what is that, really? It's got a range of only 600 yards, but what is it? David's Second Amendment, read it. I will. Yeah, you can have as many guns as you want. Did I say you could put bullets in them? Well, you can. Right to bear arms, no, nothing about bullets in that argument. Read it. Let's take a look. Let's see if the Second Amendment talks about bullets. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Thank you. Nothing about bullets. I want you to have bullets for your guns. Don't get me wrong, but if we have jihadist groups or extreme hardcore right-wing Nazis and KKK members who are arming up and they've got a bullet collection of hundreds of thousands of bullets, I consider that a fire hazard. Just throwing it out there. Yeah. I'm a passive guy. I'm not, but Clicked Up says I'm a passive guy, Dave. Yeah, you don't even need weapons. A lot of you people just want to live privately in your home and live a good life. Yeah, I don't blame you for not wanting to bear arms or arm bears. Dave, when you're president, will you allow homeless people to live in the spare rooms of the White House? No, but I will create a mobile service unit outside the White House. Yes, we were talking about that the other day. The possibility of a mobile service unit outside the White House to provide people services like washers and dryers for the local area. Maybe even bathrooms. I really believe that we have to do something for the people of the Washington, D.C. area. I don't want people like back when Herbert Hoover was president. They drove by and he'd say there was nothing wrong with our economy, and everyone saw these shanty towns around them, and they called it Hooverville. Herbert Hoover, you know, he kind of Donald Trump reminds me a little of Hooverville. People just don't like people like that who just, they live in their own ivory tower. They don't care about the people in the street. And for some people, when Trump became president, it was shocking. Most people thought they weren't going to get anything. And now we're finding out that the food stamps are being cut.
Donald J. Trump is now president of the United States.
So your dad hated Hooverville? Yeah, there you go. And not Hooters. That's a different story. That's about, you know, beautiful women serving hamburgers and you guys going goo goo gaga over the thought that maybe you really did like to suckle on your mother's nipples. That's nothing like that. We're talking about suffering, not your horniness, or you or Joe Biden's horniness. Now on sale, Joe Biden t-shirts. Let's take a look. Oh, and they come with the hands attached. That's kind of cool. Hey, Biden 2020, everybody. Those are awesome. The plastic hands are like epitaphs on the side. Nice. Your whole family could get in on this. Who doesn't want to be, you know, hugged and smelled and groped while they're talking about their, you know, how great the country is. It's not banning ammo. I'm not banning ammo at all. Did I say I was banning it? Did I say I was going to take their ammo away? Did I say anything like that? No. We want them to disperse the ammo to areas outside of one location. That's all we're going to do. Yeah. I'm not trying to, you know, impose greater problems on everybody. I have no taxes, Kenny. I don't make enough to qualify. I retired, unlike Trump, who still has to work because he couldn't manage his money properly. Yeah, I'm not taking your weapons or your guns away or your bullets away. No, I just want to make sure they're safe. It's a fire hazard issue, that's all. Gosh, you people are really reactionaries, aren't you? You right-wingers, you just, no, you can't take it away. You can't take my guns away or my bullets away. Nobody's going to take my... You know, I met a guy, just briefly, who was traveling around the country when Obama became president. He got in his Jeep Cherokee, and he and his family left New Hampshire. And by the time they got out to my little city, they landed at the local Ace Hardware, and I said, "Hey, man, what's going on?" "Well, you're only allowed to buy 200 rounds at every Ace Hardware, so we've been buying them all across country." And I looked outside at his Cherokee, and it was like down. It must have had like 1,000 pounds rounds in it. Yeah, no, I'm not taking away your rounds. I would never take your guns away. You're going to have to remove that. Come back in an hour. He had like 1,000 rounds or more. I mean, 200 at a time. He must have had like thousands of rounds, hundreds of thousands of rounds. People can have as many rounds as they want, yeah. But they can't store them in one place. They're a fire hazard. And it's not everybody we're dealing with. They're just basically jihadists and extreme right-wing militants. Do you expect the President of the United States to sit back while you plan on launching terrorist attacks against our country? I don't know what Omar is. I have no idea what Ilhan Omar is, other than a woman that possibly married her brother to become a U.S. citizen. But I agree with her on AIPAC. She's spot on. I mean, she and I could hang out and, talk, assuming, I wasn't making, any advances at her, assuming she wasn't wearing her hijab. Now, what is it? Women who don't wear a hijab are actually getting men aroused, so it's the woman's fault for having a beautiful face? I don't get that. But who am I to ask, exactly what their religion is? I just don't want it imposed upon our laws. I don't want our country to have to spend, well, I guess it's okay for a man to kill their wife if they're looking at another man and you're jealous. In Sharia law, a man can kill his own wife legally if she looks at another man. I mean, that's just insane. That's murder one in America, and we will enforce the law. And if you force your daughter to marry her rapist in Dearborn, Michigan, you will hear from the government. And I'll have an 800 number to report your Uncle Hijab, or whoever you got, Uncle whatever. If a woman is raped, she shouldn't have to marry the rapist, but in that culture they do. Oh, so NOAA's warning unprecedented flooding could last until July? 200 million people at risk? Okay, considering NOAA has their head up there, you-know-what. NOAA doesn't know anything. They ought to call it not NOAA. Not to NOAA, nothing, huh? They can't predict a damn thing. This beautiful planet of ours is virtually irradiated with a massive amount of irradiation that just constantly hovers over our Earth. Look at this. Our magnetosphere is so screwed up, it's beyond belief. And I understand that they're testing some sort of an aluminum drop out there in the middle of the ocean. No, up there in Norway, they dropped some sort of a massive... Here it is. A couple days ago, NASA did a dump of trimethyl aluminum and barium strontium mixture into the magnetosphere. Don't worry, it's perfectly safe, except it's not, and they haven't tested any of these chemicals out. I think what they're doing is some sort of an alteration to make up for the destruction that they're causing the Earth with all these chemtrails. I connect the dots between those dots and those dots right there. I do. I actually see a correlation. Now, if you can't connect those dots and figure out that NASA's screwing up and NOAA's screwing up, then you're probably of the belief that, oh, they're taking care of us, everything's fine, we're going to be okay. Meanwhile, the 5G network is causing irreparable damage to this beautiful planet of ours. And they're not even able to get it to work. This 5G network is dangerous. Here's what you don't know what may kill you. There's intervehicular and vehicle-to-road communications going on. There's massive machine-type communication going on to a macro cell emitting RF frequencies that can genetically alter your body, meaning it could create cancer. If you hold a cell phone next to your head, you could get cancer around your ear. I'm not making this up. The director of the World Health Organization confirms this. You've got device-to-device communication. You've got MM-wave and terahertz communication. That's right, and they're even doing Li-Fi as well as the 5G network. Li-Fi is another thing they're spinning out with laser beams going across large areas with massive amounts of data. And that's right here, Li-Fi and Wi-Fi integration. And the multi-stream, multi-flow carrier aggregation with dual connectivity. We're talking about massive infusion of electromagnetic currents all around us, which can lead to disastrous consequences. I wish I could say this is perfectly fine, nothing to worry about, but I'm glad we have the 4G network. But we really need to stop there. Bringing on something so unsustainable is a disaster, which is very suspicious. Makes you wonder if it's even necessary. I mean, think about it. Do I even need to talk? Maybe I could play some music here, because it's time. It's time.
Never thought I'd find a
Okay, yeah. So what are we dealing with here? Yeah, we got the flip-flopper. We got the New World Order. Where does he fit in this whole thing? Well, he denies that climate change is even happening, so he buys them time so they don't have to fix the entire country. He's good at that. He's good with diversions. He's constantly mixing things up with all his he's full of himself. So while the New World Order slowly pollutes the planet that we're living on and creates an environment that's untenable for humankind to even subsist, they are building underground bunkers across the globe. And you know, one of the areas they're building up is New Zealand. Dave, seriously, is there any way I can protect myself from Wi-Fi signals in my house? Yes, you can. Let me show you. eBay has Faraday cages that you can buy and put over your Wi-Fi transponder. I built a few myself. But Faraday cages, yeah, they're pretty cool. The ones for smart meters are perhaps the ones you could use for Wi-Fi. Wow. Hang on. Here's one right here. This guy did what I did, which is kind of wrapped it with a type of material. I used aluminum wiring that you can buy at Ace Hardware, but something like that would work. This is a smart meter shield, which has a 4.6 rating. They can still send signals out, so it's not like it's the end of the world. There's another type of shield here. This is one way that some people are doing it. I like the ones where that's just clear screening material. To me, it's better because it cuts the field radiation down. This is my favorite. So something like that, a smart meter shield cover protector that could go over your Wi-Fi antennas. It'll still work, but it will eliminate the dangerous field radiation. Foil technically will work, but it'll eliminate some of your signal ability. Whereas the clear aluminum screening material actually allows the signals to go through back and forth. But the field energy is reduced significantly. Same with smart meters. I still get my bill. It doesn't have any effect on their ability to read my meter. But it eliminates the field energy that's emanating from all of these electromagnetic devices. Now, this is kind of new stuff. Most of our leaders have not even caught on to all this. And the fact that we have all this field radiation around us does increase our chances for getting brain cancer. Well, the truth is the number one child killer of cancer is now brain cancer. It's not leukemia. Brain cancer is killing children left and right. Now, they did a study showing that kids who use a cell phone before they go to bed, next to their ear, they will not have any REM sleep that night. They have no REM cycles. Their brain is so actively injured by the cell phone next to their head that they really should hold the cell phone away at arm's length and say, hi. And if your kids need privacy talking to their friends, just tell them to go in the closet and talk to them. Seriously. Because I know a lot of you have children you want to protect and you're worried about, getting cancer. Everybody's worried about each other. I mean, the fact is we're not doing enough to worry about each other enough to create a third party and stop these bastards in the two-party system. They're just in it for their own personal aggrandizement. They're padding their pocket. Nancy Pelosi's worth over $124 million. Somebody said she's worth now $190 million. I mean, where'd she get all that money? Yeah, Big Mac has 540 calories and lots of fat and carbs and 970 milligrams of salt. We were just looking up the fillet of fish that McDonald's sells. It's got like 540 milligrams of salt, half the Big Mac. So maybe Donald Trump on his 5 or 6 fillets is getting enough salt to not overdose. But if he's doing over 5 fillets a day, fillet of fish sandwiches, he may be ODing on salt. Say hello to my little friend. Look, I'm not telling your kids to go in the closet. We're not telling you how to raise your children.
Se salió del mar, que veo tanta sirena, hombre, ¿qué fue? Mucha carne, pues se
You know, I'm sorry, but midget movies just don't get it. You know, it doesn't take me to the next level, Bengalitis. We don't need people in here supporting a woman who can't even articulate a single word without having to consult her handlers. The people that put Ocasio-Cortez on the map are the Justice Democrats. Yeah. The Justice Democrats created her. Yeah. You know, the guy at the Young Turks, he's one of them. The man at the Young Turks, he's really behind her. And then another man who worked Bernie's backside, you know, when he was working the polls. One of Bernie's pollsters from 2016 is the other mastermind behind the Justice Democrats. They brought you Ocasio and Beto O'Rourke. They're trying to hijack the left and break down the party into the leftists. I think the party's done. I think the Democrats are done. The leftists can have the communists can inherit the Democratic Party for all I care about. All right. I just don't believe that we need to worry about Ocasio-Cortez. She's too far to the left. The Green New Deal is just as bad as the New Deal, which is still costing us money with bureaucracy. I believe in Medicaid for all, not Medicare for all, which is Kamala Harris's thing. I think Medicaid for all is already in place, so we don't have to spend much money on that. We just need lower cost services. The truth is, cost of healthcare is skyrocketing, and we got to get the cost down, not up. So one of the things we can do is offer an alternative. Mobile medical units. Now, Donald Trump stole this idea during the 2016 campaign, claimed he was going to create mobile medical units for people, when in fact it's a disaster for him to speak at all. Mobile medical units could veritably save the country if we're properly done. An MMU, a rapid response unit, could be in every city in America. Let me remove this New World Order thing. It really kind of bugs me that I'm fighting a New World Order. And all I want to do is solve America's problems. Yeah, these things can be just deployed all across the country, rotating around in various cities. Every city like Chicago and LA, DC could have like 10 of these units to start. I'm anticipating 200 units at $5 million a piece. Yeah, they're nice vehicles. And thanks, Crime Docs, for you. They're going to come in with, they'll have portable x-ray systems. It'll be very cost effective if you have a broken bone. Ultrasound devices, if you've got some serious, some occlusion somewhere in your body, we can identify and get you to a hospital. We can detect things that are, you know, blood flow issues that we'd normally triage at a hospital. We can do it there. Everybody who comes in will automatically put their finger in the oxygenation device, which, believe it or not, these things are like $16 online. Very cheap. They'll tell you how much oxygenation your body's getting, which is a clear indicator as to how bad you are. And that'll be one way we're going to give people priorities. Anybody with a blood oxidation level below a certain level goes to the front of the line. But normally everybody takes a ticket and then checks their oxygenation. So we will prioritize people who are really sick too with a fever. So I think we're going to have like an initial station where you walk up, take a temperature and oxygenation, and then it'll just be a temporary touch temperature, and then walk to the seating area, which will be outside. Imagine a tent around this area that would be very nice to, you know, like a large outside tent with seating. And even like a 70-inch LED TV on the outside of the building so that people can watch shows. You know, I could even play my cooking shows for people. Whatever, you know. I'm just trying to give people a way of getting decent healthcare checkups for next to nothing. If you have medical insurance, it'll certainly apply. It'll be like a $30 copay. If you don't have any insurance at all, you can just sign an affidavit saying you have no money, and it'll go toward Medicaid will pay for it. And if you don't have, but if you have some money, you won't have to sign anything. You just pay them $30, and it's no questions asked. You won't have to worry about us writing down your name. We won't be doing anything invasive to your body, so there's no liability. We're only doing preventative care, providing a diet plan, doing a blood check. We may offer like braces as opposed to arms being set. We'll give you a brace or something that would be affordable if you are dealing with a broken bone, and then we'd send you to the hospital. Because most bone injuries are surgery related. If it's a slight fracture, of course, we'll give you a brace. Well, this is just right now, as you know, I'm going a little bit later, my hair switches to the other side, and it's a whole new look. Everything changes. I'm kind of like this turtle in a way. You know, meet Jonathan. He was born in 1830. He and I kind of look alike. You see that in the face? He doesn't react to anything. He's pretty old. He doesn't nothing freaks him out. He was born in 1830. It's amazing. Meet Jonathan. And okay, here's something that we can talk about that's a little bit more related to politics, because we've been kind of drifting here. More people are being arrested. Yesterday it was the graduate rigging SAT scores and the Nixivium cult member being arrested. Today it's the Lori Loughlin, Mosimo Giannulli, indicted on fraud and money laundering charges. Yeah, she looks kind of glib there, doesn't she? She won't be that glib in jail. One day after actress Felicity Huffman entered a guilty plea for her participation in the college admissions bribery scandal, a federal grand jury has indicted actress Lori Loughlin and her fashion designer husband, Mosimo Giannulli, for money laundering and fraud. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Boston announced on Tuesday that the famous couple were charged in a second superseding indictment with conspiring to commit fraud and money laundering in connection with a scheme to use bribery to cheat on college entrance exams and to facilitate their children's admission to selective colleges and universities as purported athletic recruits. Man, that took a long time. Hey, Zeno, you're not allowed to post like that here. I thought I explained that to you. Good night, DT Laura. Sleep well. Thanks for coming in. Okay, we got a good one. Smart meter shielding, does it work? We'll play that video tonight.
All right, I wanted to make a quick video real quick because I've had so many people messaging me lately from the Smart Meter Wi-Fi group asking questions on all different things throughout the topic. So the first thing I want to address right now is smart meter shielding. Does it work? Is it effective? Yes and no. Okay, so what you need to understand is meters and how they operate. All right, so here's my meter. My meter happens to be an analog because I fought the power company and got the smart meter removed.
Okay, well, lucky guy. He doesn't even have a smart meter, so how does that apply to me? But I'll play it later tonight. Good night, my beautiful cat Fluffy. Sleep well. Give Fluffy an extra couple pets for me. My cat's so addicted to my petting, it's ridiculous. Sarah said I created the problem. I know. I was not planning on petting her entire life, but by petting a cat, you just tell them, yeah, keep coming back for more. He explains why he got the smart meter removed in the video. Okay, great. I'll check it out. There's no guarantees with everything. But thanks for the link, Captain Howdy. Hey, so how did that work out with your friend Frank Cali, who was shot recently. Did you ever write the prosecutors in New York that he was talking about? Because the guy's being charged with a crime for shooting Frank Cali. I think it's a setup. You were telling me that Frank said that Donald Trump owed him some money? That's too coincidental for Frank Cali to have an outstanding debt with Donald Trump, and then Frank Cali gets shot by some guy. It's just too weird. Did they tell you not to talk about it on the show, or is that why you're being really quiet? Okay, you don't have to answer. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. We're going to be checking out for a second. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important announcement. I have a phone call in the other room, and I have to go get the phone. So here I was in 2016. Excuse me. Here I was in 2009.
Hi, I'm David John Sponheim. It's been about 100 days since Barack Obama took office as President of the United States. In that time period, he spent close to $3.2 trillion. Money we don't have. Money we won't even have in the next 10 years. And I'm beginning to think that he's not the guy for the job.
Nope, he was not the guy for the job. Okay, so Captain Howdy, you can't talk about it. Okay. You were threatened when I tried to tell your story. Well, you tried. Okay, well, we won't mention anymore that Frank Cali told everybody that Donald Trump owed him money before he died. I won't mention that ever again. Thank you. Wow. Eyewitness from Captain Howdy. Sarah's back. Taylor, okay. Yes, Taylor, go ahead. What's your question? Yes, we do. Yeah. We have that. I'll play it when I get back. I will. I'll play it when I get back. Yeah. Thanks for calling, Taylor. Later. Bye-bye. Okay, he wants to see that Michelle Obama video later. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. I'll be back shortly.
I don't know, behavior. I'm not sure, 246. Thank you. I'm really happy in my home. I like being here. Anyway, yes, thank you, home, for protecting me and all of that, giving me a good place to be and enjoy my life. You're drinking psycho behavior. It's not even Friday. It's not even the weekend yet. I'm like Cousin It. Yes, I will take that as a compliment. I do have really long hair. I could look like Cousin It if I wanted to. I could do the whole show like this. Yeah, I hope you guys are all having a great time. It's fun being here. I don't think so, Clicked Up. You shouldn't have 2 beers a day. You don't need that. I'm a beautiful person, but this is TV. Come on. My smart meter is pulsating electricity through my home, which can lead to nerve damage. The electrical company uses what they call dirty electricity to spy on people. Yes, I'm sure you can see some gray hairs. Not too many, though. Where? Oh, wait, maybe one right here. Yeah, that's a gray hair. There's a gray hair right there. Cousin It's getting older. What can I say? Exactly, Deeker. I'm glad you like my Cousin It impersonation. Do you prefer trivia? Alright. Let's pull out the trivia book. I don't know why David is so sexy. I guess there's a lot I don't know. Okay, we're on technology. On the letter T. What is automatic measurement and transmission of data or information by such means as wire or microwave relays from the source to a distant receiver? Satellites transmit their data by this. Give me your data. Give me this. Starting with letter T. How does all the satellite transmit their data? The answer is telemetry. What is the dumping of heated gases or heated wastewater? This is often from electrical generating plants, and it's dumped into the air or water. It can affect weather, and in the water it can threaten plants or animals living in it. The answer is thermal pollution. Thermal pollution. What is a device for accurate measurement of temperature? It consists of two dissimilar metals joined at two joints in a loop so that the difference in voltage can be measured. Because voltage changes in proportion to temperature, the voltage difference indicates temperature differences. Good job. Key Marcher, GY. Got it right. It's a thermocouple. What is a term referring to devices that use fusion of atomic nuclei to produce energy at very high temperatures? The answer is thermonuclear. What is a device that monitors and automatically responds to changes in temperature and activates switches controlling devices such as furnaces or air conditioners? Change the settings on this to get warmer weather and warmer temperatures in your house, or cooler temperatures. Correct, 773. Thermostat. THERMOSTAT. STAT. S-T-A-T. You can reverse saturated fat and cholesterol buildup, save your heart. Deeker and Clicked Up are talking about those things over at On Live. That's true. There's this Dr. Dean Ornish diet to help your heart. It's like all vegetables, basically. I think that's it. Fruit and vegetables. What is the location of an accident in 1979 in a nuclear power plant? An electrical generator powered by a nuclear reactor in Pennsylvania. The plant underwent a partial meltdown that resulted in very little leakage of radiation into the atmosphere, but panic among nearby residents and losses of billions of dollars and intense criticism of nuclear power programs in general. The nuclear power plant accident in 1979 happens at this location. Three Mile Island. 3 Mile Island. What is a device used to transfer electrical energy from one circuit to another with an alternating current? This will either raise or lower the voltage as it makes the transfer. Correct, Kimarchi GY. It is called a transformer. What is an electronic device that can work as an amplifier, transforming weak electrical signals into strong ones? It's normally made from silicon or other semiconductors. It's a basic device used in miniaturized electronic systems such as portable radios or as a fast switch in a computer. Yes, the penguin, you got it. Transistor. Yes, Kimarchi got it too. Good job, Deeker. Posting the Ornish diet spectrum by William Shockley of Bell Labs, yes. The Way of Life Dean Spectrum diet. That's pretty interesting. Okay. What was proposed by a British mathematician that is often taken that's often used to determine whether a computer has human-like intelligence? If a panel of human beings conversing with an unknown entity, like in a chat room, believes that the entity is human, and if the entity is actually a computer, the computer is said to have passed this. Yes, Penguin. The answer is the Turing test. All right, we're moving on to you. What are radio waves with frequencies that run between 300 and 3,000 megahertz? David always says he's being broadcast on these frequencies. And I go like that. Really? Like on your own personal device, Time Pilot, or someone else's? You've seen David on UHF? All right, good to know. I believe you, Time Pilot. All right, I guess I believe David too. I've never seen him on UHF, but 300 to 3,000 megahertz. What does BD mean? What is the measure of time obtained from the rotation of the Earth? It's also known as Greenwich Mean Time, after the Greenwich Observatory in England. The world's time standard today is coordinated this, which is kept by atomic clocks. The two of these are kept in synchronization by the occasional insertion of leap seconds into the year. Oh, bad. Oh. Yeah, that's what he says, but I guess that's what you say, Time Pilot. So the question is, do I believe you? The answer to that one is universal time. I guess I don't. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever floats your boat. What is an abbreviation or a title that refers to the formal address of a document on the internet? Awesome jacket. I like tacos. Starting with a U. I'm well. How are you, shiny puffy coat? Stands for Universal Resource Locator. Is URL. All right, moving on to V. What are radio waves with frequencies between 30 and 300 megahertz? Have you ever seen David on that? Yes, penguin starting with a V. Yes, Keymarcher, GY. Do I really want to look at this one? What's in your wiener hot dog ingredients explained? It'll make me dislike hot dogs probably even more, which I already despise them, so I don't know if that's possible to dislike them any more than I already do. But maybe this will help you all. Alright, that was VHF. Very high. Yeah, I watched VH1 back in the day too. What's in your wiener hot dog ingredients explained? All right, I love Scientific American. Let's look in here. Mechanically separated turkey, okay. As the U.S. Department of Agriculture describes it, a paste-like and batter-like poultry product is produced by forcing bones with attached edible tissue through a sieve or similar device under high pressure. Pork Any meat can be taken off the bone by advanced meat recovery machinery that separates the edible from the inedible without smashing the bone. Water, corn syrup, beef, but not mechanically separated beef, salt, potassium lactate, sodium phosphate, I hate that stuff, flavorings, beef stock, sodium diacetate, sodium erythrorbate, maltodextrin, sodium nitrate, paprika. Unreal, lots of things. Sarah, remember when MTV used to show music videos? You know why they don't show music videos? It all has to do with advertising. Because they couldn't compare, they couldn't say, well, you know, we'll play your music in between songs, that because certain companies were saying, well, how does that compare to like the sitcom? So in order to compare them side by side, MTV went more to a sitcom kind of thing.
Or VH1.
Yeah. All right. We'll finish the letter V maybe tomorrow or never. Okay.
That's the military UHF you're talking about. They've been trolling me. Yeah, I know.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, the military can hijack the UHF signals. They've got much more powerful transponders so that they can actually override the UHF feed, and they've done that. I think the government's been working against this third party. Thank you, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for all your help. Wasn't that kind of her to help you with your brain? Thank you, Sarah. Yes, Theodore, can I help you? Go ahead. Hold on, just it's Taylor before, now it's Theodore. Hey, shiny puppy coat, how are you? Yeah, you get your name straight, Taylor, Theodore. Shiny puppy coat, yeah, I was thinking about you the other day. You've gone blackface. Wow. Look at that, he's having some racial some racial tensions, so he's gone blackface. I'll be darned. Well, look at you. He's a young man who, or not so young, after all, in your close to your 40s, who has been dealing with kind of electromagnetic sensitivity, I guess you'd call it. He has a mild case of autism, which leads to this extreme. Hello? 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 Yeah, so he has to wear puppy coats to protect himself from getting a seizure. Isn't that right? Mild. So you get seizures otherwise. Yeah, I figured it out. Okay. So he wears these to protect him. His mother had him wear these when he was young, and he's made his life, normalized his life as best he could, using a shiny puffy coat to minimize his stress, environmental stress. Yes, go ahead. What can I do for you? Hello? Yeah, hello. What can I do for you? Wait, you're not a nice person. This is a shiny puffy coat guy. He's not doing blackface. All of you Democrats are so freaky about your history of racially profiling black people. Even Hillary's made comments about black people and how they all look alike. I mean, it's terrible, you Democrats. I'm not trying to make fun of black people. There's a black puffy on my screen. That's right. There's a picture of my black puffy. Except I need my counter number. if you could. Yes, thank you. It's a puppy coat guy. He gets seizures in general if he doesn't have a puppy coat on him to kind of hold his energy in. Yeah. Anyway, we've had a request for Michelle Obama's penis video. So I'm here. I'm just abiding the request in her show. We don't want to make you feel like you're unfulfilled or in any way incapable of enjoying the show. Here is the photograph of Michelle Obama's body part moving around, his penis. Let me just play it from the top, okay?
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
We have a problem here. She is not what.
Okay, we have confirmation. It is a penis and a testicle floating around in Michelle Obama's pants. So, girl, you got some explaining to do, alright? You got some explaining to do, girl. Telling us y'all first lady all those years. Y'all mess with our hair, Michelle. I'm not going to take it. And let's not forget, here's Michael LaVaughn Robinson in the early days, when he met a young, strapping, homosexual Muslim man named Barack Hussein Obama. And they fell in love. It's love at greed first sight. Greed at love first sight. Because Michael came from a very, very wealthy family. His father dealt drugs in Chicago. Excuse me. His father went deal drugs in Chicago. All right. First lady. So y'all understand that we got a lot of things to talk about to get past all the bull crap that we've been fed by the Obamas. I don't know, some weirdo. Yeah. Here's a good idea that'll, definitely help the world. A 24/7 cancer cure center. Isn't this a great idea I came up with? Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, if we can't cure cancer 24/7, how ridiculous is that? I mean, why are doctors going to bed at night while people are dying in cancer cells every day? Shouldn't there be like shifts of people working on cancer research? Well, the blimp idea hasn't just stopped. I'm actually thinking of buying some fuselage of a 707 jet. I know. It's one of my big ideas, getting the balloons up there and testing it out. I know. And thank you, Shiny Puffy Coat says, God bless you, David. You're very right about the cancer. So why not, come up with a way to cure cancer? Why are we hesitating and making it so difficult for people? Even trial vaccines that are showing positive results in animal testing, I would think that a person could write off a statement saying, I will not sue you under any circumstances if you provide me with this cure that seems to work with rats. But right now, cancer studies are so complicated and ridiculous. It's all about money. that people who suffer from cancer can't even take experimental medicine when they're dying. Some people don't mind having their body going out as a guinea pig. They really don't. They're at that point. So something like this would be very advantageous. So what I'm going to do is take funding from the NIH's fund to create research and development dollars. Some of that money will be diverted to creating this clinic, which will be housed by scientists working around the clock 24/7 in 3 separate shifts to find a cure for cancer in any one particular area, especially childhood brain cancer. Really, you're trying an indica vaccinium right now? Cannabis vaccinium. You're trying your vaccinium plant. Blueberries are, by the way, in the vaccinium genre. If you studied Latin, blueberries, the Latin word for blueberry, is vaccinium est. And since Latin is a dead language, you can only get a priest to say it.
Vaccinium est. Vaccinium est.
Vaccinum est. And what does that mean, Dave? Blueberry is. So it's a vaccinum est. It is a vaccinum est.
Vaccinium.
Vaccinum. So blueberry is a kind of a vaccine, you know, and the word looks alike. Okay. So eat blueberries, everybody. That's my big word for today. The truth is, it will help you. Blueberries are full of antioxidants. I want to make a blueberry Hefeweizen beer when I'm at the White House. I want to pull out those vats of beer that Donald Trump let rot after Barack Obama spent all that US dollars on those vats of beer, and he never even bothered. Oh, Donald Trump doesn't even know the meaning of how to make money at the White House. He just makes money across the street. 90 million so far he's made on the Trump Tower, Washington, D.C. See, your mother joined an experimental cancer group before she died and was trying a new immunotherapy for kidney cancer. Wow. She had high blood pressure for 20 years, and a primary doctor never tested for cancer, found it was stage 4. Yeah, high blood pressure and kidney disease go hand in hand. You're right. Good point, Shiny Puffy Coat. It sucks to lose your mom. I'm sorry to hear you lost her to cancer. You know, I had a grandmother that died of extreme high blood pressure at a young age. My father's mother pretty much worked herself to death. Well, I'm glad she tried something different, but at least she had the option of trying something experimental, immunotherapy. We have an unbanned a period of time where we unban people, because I can't possibly expect Mark to open up the floodgates of people to get into our show. So what I do is use this technique to unban people. Right, Hillary? Yeah. Yeah, so unbanning people seems to get some people in. We were never really planning on getting donations because, frankly, this whole process would take millions of dollars. And since none of you want to even donate 10, we decided just to do a free show.
And if you agree with me, and like many Democrats, I left the Democratic Party because Barack Obama didn't really come across as an honest person to me.
Yeah, neither does Donald Trump. Some people don't qualify for, she did surgery and radiation and chemo. You know, they've got all these things out of the box that they give people with cancer that they think might help them, radiation, chemo, etc. And, you know, they're just grasping at straws. These doctors are practicing medicine on people. They don't know, yet they claim they're the all-knowing truth and that holistic remedies are no longer even on the agenda. I mean, I've heard a lot of people having positive results from everything from chelation therapy, where they take your blood out and clean it and give you back cleaner blood with vitamins infused in it, to alternative forms of treatments for breast cancer with just taking tamoxifen. I mean, a standard chemical is not, they call it chemotherapy, but it's a benign thing women can take to prevent their breast cancer from metastasizing. So there's all these little minor tricks that should be used and deployed right now. Men who have predispositions to prostate cancer can go on androgynous therapy, where they go into anti-hormone therapy, they call it, anti-androgen therapy, where they can have lower amounts of testosterone, which lowers the rate of cancer production. These are common sense things that will dole out in the form of low-cost generic pills. That's one thing the 24/7 Cancer Cure Center can do. And there is a brain cancer vaccine that costs $35,000 a dose that should be $35 a dose, not $35,000. So what's going on there? I mean, why all the profit taking on cancer? That's true, Ireland. Yeah. I have to unban all whenever the number of people come in here kind of declines. It's one of the techniques I use. I have to. It's just a reality. British inventor demonstrates a jet suit for the Royal Navy. Okay. From UPI.com. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Click to play. Yeah, we spend less than 1% on research for cancer compared to the military budget. So true. Whoa, that's cool. Oh, come on. They had this at Disneyland back in 1966. I mean, come on. Really? Yeah, and the Astro Orbiter was, Disneyland had a guy lift off from that location. I saw him using the same kind of jetpack. So it's not some new innovation. I saw that right in front of me. I was sitting there, I was 6 years old, I'm looking up going, that guy's got a jetpack on his back, and he like lifted right up in front of me. I saw it with my own eyes in 66. So who are they kidding? I mean, they've been promising us all these solutions for our country way back when. Remember when they talked about how engines would get 100 miles per gallon by 2010? I remember going to an electric car event in 1988. I have it on tape. I have a VHS copy of the tape. And I went there in 1988 and visited everybody who's making electric cars back then. And we're finally seeing electric cars on the road, but it's taking forever to realize the potential. Teslas are apparently, getting about 120 to 200 mile ranges. But back then they could get 100 to 200 mile ranges then too. So it's like, where have we really gone? I'm not going to buy an electric car. I buy a hybrid. I have a couple hybrids. Sarah has a hybrid. I have a hybrid. I prefer the hybrid because you don't run out of gas. The truth is, range anxiety is causing a lot of people to not want to buy this stuff. People are worried about running out of energy on the highway. It's like, I don't want to lose my power, dude. Yeah, well, hybrids are. Sarah gets 45 miles per gallon, and I get 55 miles per gallon on the highway, 52 overall. My car was originally slated to get 70, but that's if you're a midget driving with a booster chair downhill in the middle of the salt flats. But I'm really happy with the gas mileage, and I think they're pretty cool looking. I would love to be able to give you guys more information about 9/11. I mean, that's what this is about. I wasn't going to talk about just the Cancer Cure Center tonight. But we did touch down on 9/11 tonight quite a bit. We didn't get into detail at how the Mossad may have been part of the 9/11 attack. Well, there's a lot of people that are concerned that the people that were there photographing 9/11 during the attack there was a group of agents, Mossad agents, that actually went back and bragged about all the success they had filming it. And they're on record having talked to people in Israel. How did they know it was going to happen? How did the Mossad know it was going to happen? Why were they there?
It was widely reported that men had been celebrating the attack after recording the first plane strike. They were not Al-Qaeda, but they were detained.
I grabbed my binoculars and I could see the towers from my window. And this is where I'm looking. And all of a sudden, down there, I see this van park. And I see 3 guys on top of the van. And I could see that they were like happy. They didn't look shocked to me. They didn't look shocked.
They were happy.
There was a group of Israelis, some of whom later were revealed as Mossad assets, who were arrested after cheering and high-fiving and videotaping the crash of the airplanes into the World Trade Towers.
Several other men were detained after a van full of explosives was stopped outside of Manhattan.
Well, it turns out they did pull them over, and the FBI did talk to these guys. They released them. Their power was so big in our government that they got released. How did they know that the 9/11 was going to happen? And how did they know it? Unless, of course, it was an inside job. Yeah. So that's been the big, ultimate, real question that spawned a lot of concern among independents and third-party groups. People would still like to know how the heck they knew. What's it all about, Alfie? Now we could talk a little bit about the truth about the structure of the financial world and who's in charge, and we could talk about that tonight. Or you don't have to worry about those things and just keep doing what you're doing and stocking up for the apocalypse, whichever way you want to go. Talking about who owns the world doesn't really get you anywhere. Stocking up on sardines and peanut butter does, and crackers. So maybe we should move in the direction of sardines and crackers tonight, and MREs, and preparing for the digital apocalypse that's coming. It depends on where you're at, We unban Xeno because it has a positive approach. It's kind of like, why do Christians seek forgiveness from God for their misgivings and sins? Yeah, it's a way of healing and repairing the damages of trollitis. We convert trolls here into solid supporters, and for years we've been doing that. I know that seems kind of odd, but people come in here thinking this is a big joke, not realizing that I'm completely censored in every way, and I'm the victim here. And they finally realize that they've participated in a very evil act of trolling us. Then they start to have a kind of a crisis of conscience, they call it, where they realize their wrongdoing, and then they come in here just trying to assuage their guilt by working off penance, by being nice and pretending to be normal. It's a process. It's been going on for some time in our show. It's not unusual to see people convert like that. Remember, we're fighting the New World Order. This is a disgusting world that we're living in with their evil plan, which is to destroy the earth as fast as they can get rid of half the people in the world, or maybe more, maybe up to 80%. That's one of their goals. The Georgia Guidestones talks about that. They're all about destruction of the earth. Evil. Evildoers. The evil of the evil. And they're all about money. They control the world through money. Ergo, the green emanating from the blur effect. Yeah. Let's take a look. That is a real number, yeah. This came in. Yeah, that's not real, no. No. That was faked from another piece that came to us from a real number. Yeah, that was created by a guy named Melko. Yeah. I have the original link if you want to take a look at it, that he copied it from. It's just a problem getting to it. You know, you got to go through my threat collection. I keep a collection of all notes and everything in the show. Last night we had a lot of people harassing us in our other chat room, which I have to go in and systematically clean up. But this is the real link to. That's not, the real number is there. And as you can see, Mark could not control the counter one night, and the number skyrocketed to 921,000. That's more like the real number of people trying to get in the chat room. Here it was, right here. 921,000 people were seen watching our show. That's the real number, not 97 million. All right? Somebody took that same scene and copied it and then rechanged the number. No, the original was not faked. That I can attest to. All right. That would be a funny picture. Me scratching my head looking at the New World Order. Hey, what's in our food that sucks? What's in your hot dog? Wiener explained. Okay, Scientific American has gone into detail to find out what exactly is in your hot dog. Let's see what they're feeding us. Ballpark Franks. Mechanically separated turkey. This paste-like, batter-like poultry product produced by forcing bones with attached edible tissue through a sieve or a similar device under high pressure. Unlike mechanically separated beef or pork, it can be present in hot dogs in any amount. So, ironically, turkey is a little bit more compressed. Pork. Any meat can be taken off the bone by advanced meat recovery machinery that separates the edibles from inedibles without smashing the bone. Water. Hot dogs must be less than 10%. Corn syrup. Common food ingredient which is made differently from high fructose corn syrup and has not been linked to the same health concerns. Is often used to add texture and sweetness. So it's not high fructose corn syrup. It's probably genetically modified though. Beef. Yeah, after the outbreak of mad cow disease, the USDA stopped allowing any mechanically separated beef in food. Well, I've got beef hot dogs. What's that made out of? You know? Potassium lactate. Salt generally is about 480 milligrams, equivalent to a fish burger. Has 540. Sodium phosphates. Potassium lactate. Flavorings. Beef stock. Sodium diacetate. Oh, a combination of sodium acetate and acetic acid. Oh, helps fight fungus and bacterial growth. Gotta love that. Sodium ethorobate. Maltodextrin, made from cooked starch. Sodium nitrate. Helps retain color and prevents botulism. Extractives of paprika. That much I like. Gives it long shelf life. And it's good for you, paprika, in small quantities. You know what they're not telling you, though, in this article? The most important ingredients on that dog right there, believe it or not, is the yellow mustard, which is made with a large amount of turmeric, which is found also in curry. Turmeric is in yellow mustard. It's not in Grey Poupon, but it's in yellow mustard, and it is really good for you. I had an uncle that ate 2 hot dogs a day for his whole life. He lived on 2 hot dogs a day and whatever, a salad or whatever. 96 years old, but he always poured yellow mustard all over his hot dogs. So there's something to be said about turmeric. And ironically, some of the ketchups that are not made with high fructose corn syrup are good for lycopene. Lycopene is known to prevent cancer increases in prostate cancer. Lycopene is found in ketchup, tomatoes, watermelon, red lipstick peppers. Are you writing this down? Anyway, these are really good. I mean, ironically, a hot dog has some healthy ingredients for you. So I think that was a positive experience, getting to know a hot dog. Yeah, tomatoes, watermelon, red pepper. So the New World Order is, as they're trying to kill us all off with 0-calorie sweeteners, which are rat poison on our dinner table, we have to come up with ways of figuring out how to beat them. And that means boosting our immune system and preventing disease. Not just force inoculations like they're trying to do in New York now. New York City's announcing mandatory vaccinations for everybody. Yeah, because of a measles outbreak. But there's a strong bit of evidence suggesting that measles vaccines are spreading the measles. Hey, Scissor Fight, you just got back from LAX picking up a friend. Wow. You are nice to do that. That's a good thing to do. It's such a, long drive in a super shuttle. And it's so much better to have a real friend, at the airport when you meet. You're both breathing the same fumes from the jets and all that, but at least you're there. The winds are really picking up where you are. Could be some fires. Yeah, we had some winds up here too. 6 packs of Marlboros are going for $17. Where? That's a pretty good deal for 6 packs of Marlboros. Aren't they normally $7 a pack? How are you getting them for $2? Are they actually legal? I mean, they're like $10. On eBay, you can buy like old cigarettes. That's so funny. It's on the vintage novelty section. That's hilarious. Well, if you are a cigarette smoker, I mean, obviously old stogies. I declare, trailers for sale or lease, rooms. I love that song. Roger Miller. Yeah, Roger Miller. Let's play that later tonight. That's a classic. Yeah, I mean, that's a great deal for an eBay item for an old cigarette, Trailers for sale. I grew up with that song playing in the background. My dad loved that song. Yeah. Hey, Dave, are large brains indicative of large foreheads? No, large foreheads are indicative of large brains. Yeah, you've got the reverse. Work on that reverse. There it is. Let's take a look at this. This looks like a fun eBay ad. A 6-pack of unopened, new Marlboros for $17. That's the bid price. So by the time 16 hours rolls around, this is going to be going up big time. Yeah, that's the guy that died of lung cancer right there. He died of lung cancer. They all did. All the Marlboro men died of lung cancer. May that be a testimony to your sad reality that you're addicted. I understand. Cigarettes are really a bad addiction, but you got all these things to lean on now. Like nicotine patches and gum. And back in the old day, you go cold turkey or you don't quit. You sold an empty model car box for $60. Oh, that's nice. I've sold a few things on eBay myself. My worst eBay experience was a nightmare, actually. I had this Conan Doyle copy of Sherlock Holmes. It was the first edition. I had it out there in the book section for like 6 weeks. Not one bid. At $30. I mean, it's worth $300. Not one bid for $30. And then finally I said, screw it. I needed to get rid of this. I just said, I put it out there for $750. Somebody bid on it. And then they wrote me back saying, I can't believe I just got a $300 book for $7.50. And they were gloating. It was really pissing me off too. So whatever, at least you appreciate it. Who cares? Jeez. Border State Media Outlet uncovers massive fake documents, fake families, scam, allowing illegals to abuse loopholes. Good. We've got to find out who these freaks are trying to cheat the system. As has been pointed out previously, those who attempt to come into the United States illegally from wherever they will likely break 28 laws in the process in order to become productive. Now, a local Fox affiliate in San Antonio, Texas, has uncovered a massive scam of illegal aliens with fake documents to deceive immigration officials into thinking they're real families when they're actually fake. Wow. Well, I just couldn't wait another 6 weeks, you know, with the price 30, the minimum bid price. So I just dropped it, and it's like sold in a second. Somebody was sitting there waiting to pounce on it and gloat, you know. What we discovered is a trail of fake documents, accelerating the collapse of the immigration court system, according to American Bar Association. Fake birth certificates that Homeland Security investigations believe are used by males to get into the U.S. with children who may not even be their daughter or son, but will help them get released within 7 to 10 days. So they're taking on fake kids, which means human trafficking of children is going on with adults just using them as like a barrier to get in. It's a wave of human beings flooding through a permeable border like we've never seen before. The majority of them are, according to Border Patrol, coming from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, also known as the Northern Triangle. Interesting. Well, you know, I'm of the belief that Trump is just dealing with the reality that I said was going to happen when I talked about the 1,000-mile fence 10 years ago on our show. And when he came into our show and heard me talking about it, he used that as his big selling feature, that and the birth certificate issue, which he dropped like a lead balloon. Yeah, so I'm just afraid that Trump is not legit. I mean, he's completely full of crap. He lies incessantly. Well, they all do. But, you know, he's got that going for him, which is disturbing. If you think that Trump is fighting the deep state, he's owned by the New World Order.
And we're right now talking about Russia and various other matters. We're talking about Syria, and I think
Henry Kissinger and the New World Order are merged at the hip with Donald Trump. He's pretty much in their pocket. And when Trump did have the Russian oligarchs finance all these visitations by Sessions, Carter Page, Papadopoulos, Paul Manafort, Michael Flynn, Roger Stone, Michael Cohen, Jared Kushner, and Donald Jr., these are all Trump associates that met with the Russians. But there was no collusion? Question mark? Yeah, so we have to ask ourselves, who's kidding who? I mean, William Barr is clearly working for Russia. Mueller got paid off $30 million, according to Giuliani. He's clearly working for cash. So we're not getting any real results out of this. And I don't know, the Democrats, all we've got is Adam Schiff, Maxine Waters, and Nancy Pelosi wants to drop the whole impeachment thing. You know, she just wants to see the tax returns. That's her big thing. Maybe she wants to compare her tax returns to his, you know. I paid less than you, or you paid less than me, Donald. But Adam Schiff just doesn't seem like the kind of guy who can lead an impeachment. He doesn't seem like he has the chutzpah. He seems like a man with a kind of a lost soul, wondering if George Soros, his uncle, is going to pay for his re-election next year. He doesn't seem like the caliber person that would possibly launch an impeachment case. Just call me old-fashioned. I mean, it takes real people to actually do this. Yeah, Giuliani's still in the mix. Yeah, he's the guy that you know, didn't tell 55,000 people to wear an air mask on 9/11. I know. Yeah, all he had to do is send 55,000 people. 3M makes this wonderful air mask called the N95. And it would have solved everybody's problem. It's a very cool air mask, and it has a little blowout hole. Nobody would have gotten mesothelioma, asbestosis. But since Giuliani couldn't wake up to the reality that they needed a mask, this is my favorite, the one with the blowout hole. That's all they needed. They could have done, saved their lungs. He didn't bother to tell them as mayor of New York that they needed a mask. I mean, that's very negligent on his part. I mean, pure negligence. There's no other way to describe it. Pure negligence. So hopefully they'll get the F-35 wreckage out of the water of Japan. They're going to be ordering 87 of these F-35s in the long run. We got a fact-checking document regarding Trump's claims that Obama separated families like he did. Let's take a look.
Lashing out at a federal court ruling that the administration cannot return asylum seekers to Mexico while they wait for their immigration case to be heard in court.
And we're being very strong on the border, but we're bucking a court system that never, ever rules for us.
A senior administration official today had a lot of blame for career officials within the Department of Homeland Security, who this person blamed for some of the problems at the border, saying that they're not being tough enough. But notably, the president is actually replacing Kirstjen Nielsen with a career official. Kevin McAleenan served as the deputy CBP commissioner under President Obama, so he's coming into this job having served under a previous administration. And it's just one of those officials that the administration seems so upset with at the moment.
Donald Trump is blaming everybody he just fired. It's a classic weak leadership move to blame everybody for his own incompetence. Now, I understand from personal testimony in our room, iBlogger said that he lives down in Fort Worth, Texas area. He said that they're just coming in over the border right now. He's catching and releasing 100,000 at a time. Right now, there's like 100,000 people flooding into the cities down there. I'm serious. Everything I predicted would happen is happening as it unfolds right now, and Donald Trump stealing my idea to build a fence isn't enough. He should have built it by now. That's the problem. It would have been great if he had. He won't even look at the idea either of the container fence. He hasn't even mentioned it. But the container fence very well could be the secret to stopping the influx of people coming into the country. Now, there's a connection between the New World Order that I was describing here and this illegal immigration problem. Throughout all the Western nations, this flow of illegal immigrants is a predictor of how the New World Order is taking control and weakening countries like ours. Yeah, it's just a non-stop thing. And the good thing about this fence is it is $1 billion total. It can be done for $1 billion. He won't even do this. And that's because Donald Trump works for the New World Order. He doesn't want to fix the wall. He doesn't want to fix the fence. He actually profits from illegal aliens coming into the border, cheap labor for his hotels. He's all talk, exactly. So because Donald Trump works for the New World Order, the illegal alien flow is still going, and he's just letting it all happen, catch and release, just like Obama did, but worse in some ways. Because he's kind of bunching them all up, making them suffer, and then flooding suffering people into the general population to constantly rely on our health services, our education services. Yeah. Because these people are kind of ill and they're not well. Many of them are dying. A couple kids have already died coming over the border. He's creating a crisis which is going to be far worse for us. Today is National Autism Awareness Day. What should I do to celebrate it? Bang my head against the wall a few times? An extension ladder or a leader? Boy, you're really on a quest to find really old cigarettes. Look at this guy. He just found 8 packs for $48 unopened of Marlboro Lights from 1972. Well, you go, man. I mean, that's bound to cause cancer faster than anything. Oh, Marlboro 100s. Oh, yeah. How can you pass that up? I never had autism. That's ridiculous. No. Not autistic. I'm so adaptive that I actually figured the whole system out when I was very young. Unlike most people who are young, I didn't blow my money on cocaine or drugs or wild parties or beers and drinks at the local bar. I learned my lesson the hard way. When I was, I think, 18, I met a woman who was 21 that was, she was a handful. Let's just put it that way. She cost me quite a bit of money. Within a 6-month period, I went through $4,000 on all kinds of ridiculous expenses. Now that may be nothing to you, $4,000 in 6 months, but back then it was expensive in the late 70s. And I got a call from my company, the credit card company that, you know, everybody gets when they graduate from high school. And they said, hey man, you're overdrawn. I said, yeah, I know. I want to pay you back. Can I make you a payment so it won't go to collection or anything? He said, yeah, pay me. And so the company took $600 payments every month. I ended up paying $600 every week just to pay him off. And within 4 weeks, I had it paid off, 4 or 5 weeks. And then I just stayed debt free after that, and never. I broke up with her, and I never spent money like that after that. So the key is to not waste your money when you're young, and make good, solid investments and trade up whenever you can.